Test. Hello, what's going on, guys? Welcome. Hello. Debates, debates, debates. Tap the screen, guys. Trump, Kamala, debates. We are debating. Friendly debates. Hello. Why do so many people make these debate videos? There's a lot to talk about. Lot to talk about. Yellow.
I think Trump is good.
I think we've spoken before.
Oh, have we?
Yeah. What do you like about Trump?
Man, I like his unabashedness.
His like inability to censor himself a little bit. Say things to keep him out of
Not
trouble.
inability, because he definitely does censor himself at times. But yeah, the unabashedness shows shows genuineness, that you're not curtailing your words to manipulate people. That you're speaking from the heart. Not necessarily mean he's has an inability to control what he says, but sometimes important things need to be said blatantly.
Yeah, I guess. But like so like I consider myself pretty calm person, right? And I'm pretty chill. And if I were one day to come out and say, "Hey, this is a big problem. This is a thing going on, and I promise it's going on." I think people would believe me. Maybe. Be more inclined to. But everything just about that Trump says, in my opinion, it's like a 10 or a 12. Everything's horrible. Everything's really bad. Like we're a third world
A
country if you
10 or
ask
a
him.
12 in what sense?
Like he says we're becoming a third world country. He says that migrants are
But he's
flooding the
doesn't he
border.
say these things in a calm way? I don't see him freaking out and screaming these things.
I don't think it's his tone that solely makes it insane. I think it's the verbiage, the words he uses. When you pick up a microphone, I think you have a responsibility, especially as a president elect or a president, someone that high up, to be very careful with your words. So
No, you
things
don't
like
want to. In fact, the people who curtail their words are lying to you. I mean, I would rather have someone be direct and coarse and honest than lying and uh, and eloquent.
I don't think that being an asshole equals being truthful.
I'm not. I didn't make that claim at all.
Sorry, I'm gonna finish eating. Sorry. Um, so there's a million things I could probably bring up, and you'd say, "Well, he didn't mean that." For example, like,
Well, how about this? I'll give a very very obvious example of lying compassionately.
okay,
Men can become women.
who said that?
Uh, I would say many people on the left says, including Ketanji Brown Jackson of the Supreme Court.
She never said that.
Oh, she's not a biologist.
Right. She doesn't have a position on that, does she?
Yeah, yeah, she does. She does. Well, that's interesting. She doesn't have a position on it because her judgments usually dictate a person being a man or a woman. So she has some semblance of knowing what they are.
She said that these
But when
things are working
questioned
their way to the court.
ideologically, no, no, there are certain protections we give to women, correct?
Yeah.
How would she know to give those rulings if she didn't know what a woman was?
Let's go over it. What's a woman?
An adult human female.
What's a female?
A female is someone who has the genetics or the sexual pathways or has the nature of a woman.
What's the nature?
So, like, the nature of a woman is one that can give birth. The nature of a man is one who cannot.
So you've already been through this discussion, I'm sure, a few times, where we say women.
Why do you
There are
say
some
that?
women where some women can't give birth. Some women don't have those sexual reproductive organs. Some women don't have the chromosomes. Some women don't have
Right, but
large
they are of the nature
gametes.
too.
They're
But yeah,
they're of the
they're of the
nature.
nature too. Yeah.
And
So, for example,
who made that
never
rule?
could a biology did.
Where was that written down?
It didn't have to be. Biology is an objective thing. It's an axiomatic objective. It doesn't
But
require to be written down.
but women and these genders are social constructs.
Women and no, it's not. Because
Of
then
course it is.
think, okay, well, let me prove you wrong right now. Um, does gender have something to do with society or being social?
Yes.
It does. Okay. Are this a choice or something people are born with?
Um, I think it'd be either or. I think it'd be either or because these things are social. So yes. So like, can you be born as a woman? No. Right?
Okay. So if in some cases you can be born with this, how can you have something social prior to being in society?
Javon. Um, so there are things we could diagnose people with gender dysphoria, and we can see that
No,
they
how
have
can you have
neuro
something
hold on,
social prior to being in
neurotypical
society?
delineations that would make you fall into a different social category if so choose.
Wait, now you're saying choose.
No,
You
can
said
Greg give a
you're born
definition
this
that's not
way.
circular?
You,
Greg,
you
can you give
say
a
you say you're.
definition that's not
Hey,
circular?
I'm sorry. I'm having a conversation with the host. You
No,
said
yeah, yeah. And
choose.
the
I
host brought
said,
me up,
oh
right?
wait, is this the guy?
Did the host bring me up?
Is
Greg,
this
can
your
you
guy
give
that
a
interrupts
definition that's not
people?
circular? Can you give a
Is
definition
this
that's
the
not
guy?
circular?
Are you his
I'm just
his
wondering if that's
support group?
possible. I'm just
Well, I
wondering
was
if it's
having a
possible for you to
conversation
give
with
a
him.
definition that's not circular. Yeah, I don't care about that, but you gave a definition that's
I
circular.
know you don't
So I
care
want one
about
that's
that.
not.
That's why I'm trying to impose that you
Yes,
should.
I
Unless
just
you
want to
guys
know. I just want a definition
are
that's
you
not circular
are
for me.
are
Can you provide
what
that?
was the circular definition that I gave? I
You
said
said a
adult
woman
human
is somebody who
female.
has the pathways. You said a woman is somebody who has the natural pathways to be
I
a
said
woman.
adult human female.
And when asked what a female was, you said it was the natural pathways of being a woman.
Someone who has the biology,
Huh?
two
Of a
can have the
woman.
genetic pathways, and
Of a
three
woman.
has the nature of a woman.
Yeah,
Yes.
so a woman is someone with the nature of a woman.
Well,
That
that's
makes a
one
lot
of
of
them.
sense, Greg. Love that. Circular. So
That's what we
what's a
talked
woman?
about sexual. Hold
So
on,
what's a woman?
bro. That's what we talked
So what's a
about
woman, Greg?
sexual path. Dude, you're
I
doing.
need a non-circular
This guy
definition for me,
cannot have a
please.
conversation. I can't talk to this guy.
Yeah, I need a
Every time I
non-circular
speak, you
definition
open
for
your
me.
mouth. Can
Yeah,
you not talk and let me
I
answer?
need you to give a non-circular definition.
I need you to. If we're having a good faith discussion, first off, you came in because the host sucked.
You never have a good faith conversation.
Now you're muting me pathetically because you can't
That's
have
why
this
the first thing you
conversation.
said was, "Oh,
That's
Ketanji
so
Brown trains
pathetic.
people."
I've been trying to
You're
have a
not having a good.
conversation
No,
this
you're not.
entire time,
No,
and
you're not.
your
Give a
little butt buddy
non-circular
comes up and
definition.
interrupts so your host can leave
Give a
and negate
non-circular
having to
definition,
answer
bro.
my. I have. I said
No, you
sexual
didn't.
pathways. I said chromosomally, and then
You
I
said
said
nature of
the
being a
nature
woman,
of a
Greg.
woman. That was
A
one of the
woman is
three.
someone with the
Yes.
nature. How can a woman be someone with the nature of a woman? It doesn't tell us what woman is. Can you
How
tell us
can
what woman is?
the nature of a woman would be someone who can have children? If you were
A
listening,
car is a thing that has the nature of a car. Does that definition make sense?
I said the nature
No,
of
it
having
doesn't.
children. Are you
No,
listening?
you didn't. You said the nature of being a
The
woman.
nature of having children. Do you remember that part?
No, you said the nature of
Can
being
you
a
listen to
woman.
the words I'm saying?
Oh, I
The
have.
nature
You
of
gave a
having
circular definition.
children. And
You
then I
gave a
said
circular definition.
men
You're
are of
crashing
the
out about it.
nature who do not have children. Remember
Yes,
that?
you gave a circular
Okay, so
definition.
now
You're
that we
crashing
can
out
move
about it.
on from that, now that you've
You
opened your
gave a
ears and
circular
heard it,
definition, and now you're crashing out about it.
then then I did. That's not a circular definition. The nature of
Yes, it
having a
was. You
child.
gave no. You
How
said
is
the
having a
nature of
child
being a
circular to
woman.
a woman?
You
How
said
is
the
having a
nature
child?
of being
How
a
is
woman.
having a child
You said
a
the
circular
nature of
definition
being
of
a
a
woman.
woman?
Great, let's go. What's the necessary condition to be a woman? What's the
This
thing all
guy is
women must
so
possess?
pathetic in bad faith. It's not
Go
even
ahead, Greg.
funny.
What's the
Can you
necessary
listen to the
condition?
words? What did I say a woman was? Go.
Hardcore crash out. What's the necessary condition? What's the thing
What did
all
I
women
say a
must
woman
possess?
was?
You said a
Go.
woman was somebody with the nature of being a woman.
No.
Yes, you did.
I said three things. And what was the nature of being a woman?
You tell me.
Having children, you dumb
Okay, so
fuck. I've
a
said
woman
that
that can't have
10
kids, what are they?
goddamn times, and you
What's a woman
haven't
that can't have
listened
kids then?
to it
What
once.
is a woman that can't have
Shit.
kids? What is a woman that can't have kids, Greg? Crash out hardcore because Greg can't give a non-circular definition. Embarrassing.
You roll out. Uh,
Bro, as soon as he said it, I clocked it. Instant request. I was like, what the fuck?
Tanner with the $20 kick fund for 5 big booms. Boom, 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 boom. Was that 4? 5. Boom. 1 extra. I appreciate you, Javon. The thing is,
Greg has never been a good faith person on this app. For 3 years, he's been a plague.
I've seen him before. I remember him being a complete crazy person the first time I talked, and I was like completely calm. But the thing that I was going to lead into is obviously women is a social construct because in other countries and other societies they don't just have man and woman, they have many other things. And if you're going to cite religion, there's obviously the fact that Jesus was Jewish, and there's more than 2 genders in Judaism. It just goes on and on.
Another thing. Humans are neurosocial creatures, so us existing in a social framework absolutely rewires our neural pathways, and then that rewiring of neural pathways gets passed down to our children. So yes, you can have stuff be wired in your brain from social interactions that you've not had. It's quite literally it's how the human brain works.
Yellow,
Hello.
are you a Trump supporter?
Absolutely. I mean, why wouldn't I be?
There's a few reasons why I wouldn't be. What do you like about Trump?
The guy tried to overthrow the government, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. So, how many of those people were charged with insurrection?
That's not a charge you can
But I'm
get.
not talking about the insurrection. Who the fuck cares about the insurrection? I'm
Well,
talking about him overthrowing the government.
I'm asking you a question, so answer my question. How many were charged with insurrection?
I'm not talking about the
I know,
insurrection.
I
What are
know,
you talking
I
about?
I don't think anybody was charged with insurrection. That this charge would be like seditious conspiracy or sedition or
Which
attempt to
Trump and his
defraud
6
the
co-conspirators
American.
were charged with.
Yeah. So in the attempt to overthrow or the attempt to obstruct official proceeding and also defraud the United States government and take away the civil rights of its constituents. Those are all charges he was indicted with, and we weren't able to follow through with.
What civil rights were taken away?
The right to vote.
No, it wasn't. They voted, didn't they?
He
Do
attempted
you know
to,
what
right?
happened? Do you know what Trump did? Do you like actually know what he did?
Did the transfer of power happen? I mean, I think it's great that you phoned a friend during that conversation. You had to phone a friend.
Wait, do you know? Don't debate the meta. That's a fucking pussy move. Do you know what Trump did?
You know what else is a pussy move? Actually swearing and think it makes you sound smart. That's also.
I'm sorry. You think is that a swear all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Do you have your
It
panties in a knicker that
it
somebody
doesn't
said
make
pussy?
you any
Jesus fucking
smarter.
Christ.
It doesn't make your arguments any
No,
smarter.
the band can come sooner. Do you notice that instead of answering the question, you deflected to something else?
You deflected the whole time without
Embarrassing.
other guests, so don't act like you have the high ground.
I didn't actually.
Yeah, you did.
Greg
You
just
did.
couldn't fucking handle
But
a single answer.
good talk
Can
on
you
neural
answer our
good talk
question
on
now? What
neural
did Trump do?
pathways. Good talk
What did
on neural
Trump do?
pathways and how the brain changes. That was
What
pretty
did
good.
Trump? What did Trump do? Do you want to give an answer to that or no?
Yeah, he left office that day,
No,
and
what did he do between November and January with 6 co-conspirators? We have all the
yeah,
evidence of
he
it.
exercised his constitutional right to
Which
challenge.
constitutional right?
Does he have the right to challenge the election? Yes or no?
Yeah,
Does he have the right to
through legal
form a slate of
channels.
fake
Right,
electors?
right. And,
Yes.
no, okay, we can talk about the fake electors, but what I'm asking
Sure.
is, does he have the right to challenge an election?
That's what we
Yep,
don't have
that's
beef
not
with.
what he
We don't
did
have
though.
beef
Okay,
with that.
so you asked me what he did between November, whatever, and January. He challenged the election.
And lost all of
That's
them.
one way to say it. He challenged the election and he did a bunch of illegal stuff on the side.
What
Is
illegal
it
stuff?
legal? Is it legal to have fake electors send a slate of electoral votes to Washington? Is that legal?
Well,
Yes or no?
let's find out what the courts have to say about that.
We
Well, we
can't
can't because they had to drop the charges because he's president now.
Why is that?
because he's
Because
president.
he's the president now.
Sucks. So maybe you should just move on.
So you're a bitch and can't answer the question.
I love your swearing though. It sounds so good.
It's so embarrassing, bro. Do you notice how he had to do that, Pickles? How now it's well,
So like
he might have done it, but now he's president, so it
this
doesn't
is where I
matter.
would go with it. There's a lot of cases where we never saw them go to trial, and we have a good idea of what the outcome might have been.
But why didn't
And
they go to
right
trial? Pickles, why didn't they go to trial?
because he won the
Because he's the
election.
president.
No, there was a reason they didn't go to trial.
Did you read the report that was released literally like 5 days ago?
I'm going to let you speak. Let me tell you why
Did
a
you
lot of
read
them
the
didn't go to.
report that was
Okay, never,
released 5 days ago,
just
bro?
ramble,
Yes or
just
no?
ramble, just ramble.
It's not a
Okay.
ramble. I'm literally saying words.
Okay.
Did he read
The
the report?
reason
Did
a
you
lot
read
of
the
them
report?
didn't. Okay, the reason a lot of them didn't go to trial is because they found that there was no standing.
No, they
There's a
didn't.
difference there.
Who said
Yes,
that?
they
What
did.
the fuck
Where
are
did
you
you read
talking
that?
about? We're
What are
not
you talking about? Dude, you are
the trial.
bad.
Oh my God,
Whoever
you're
you are,
stupid.
whoever you
We
are,
are
Pickles,
not talking. Shut up, bro. We are not
you
talking
haven't shut
about
up this whole time, so
Listen,
don't act like it
I
can.
need
You
you
have
to
not
stop
shut up
talking
this
because
whole
you're an
time.
idiot. I need you to stop talking.
Shut,
We're
do you know
not
what standing
speaking.
is? Do you know what
We are
standing
not
is in court?
speaking
Shut
about
up.
his court
Shut
cases
up.
with the fucking election
Shut
fraud. That's not
up.
what we're talking about. You don't
What
even
does
know what we're
standing
talking
mean
about.
in court?
Oh
What
my
does
God, you
standing
can't
mean in
read.
court?
You
Answer an
physically can't
effing
read.
question.
You
Answer the
physically can't
question.
read. You can't read.
What
You're
does
illiterate.
standing
You're
mean in
illiterate.
court?
You are illiterate. You are illiterate.
All right,
You are
let's
illiterate.
This is
Words
hilarious.
don't.
What does
Words
hold
standing
on,
come off
mean
the
in
guys.
court?
page and just go in one ear and out
Let's
the other.
calm it down.
What does standing mean? I'm just asking him a simple question. What does standing mean?
Nothing in the Jack Smith case was thrown out without standing. None of it. None of it. You don't know what you're talking about.
I'm
We're
talking
not
about the
talking.
I'm talking about the 61
We haven't
cases
been
that
talking
went.
about that.
They
We
never.
haven't.
He's not going to let me
Pickles, have
finish.
we
Just
been
go ahead.
talking about that,
He's not going to let me
Pickles?
finish. Just go ahead.
Have we talked about that once, Pickles?
I don't even know. I was
Maybe
eating.
maybe I'm high. We're not talking
No,
about that. We're
you're
talking
extremely
about
high and you're
Trump being
extremely
indicted.
unintelligent.
We're
You're
talking about Trump being indicted for charges of
okay.
interfering with official proceedings. This
Okay.
would be
Pickles,
when
I'll
Trump
just
and his
let
six
him talk because he doesn't
co-conspirators.
let me finish.
I'm going
This is
to.
a
You don't know what
debate,
you're
and I'm
talking
the
about.
opposition.
Absolutely, you're
And you're
not.
supposed to
Your
let me.
opposition has to actually know what
We'll
they're
just
talking
listen to
about.
you, buddy. We'll just listen to you.
Opposition has to actually know what they're
Just
talking
keep
about.
talking.
Please keep crying. It fuels me. I really can't stand people like you who cry because you say incorrect shit and then we call you on it.
No, you're not letting me finish anything. So just keep talking.
Because you're talking about something we have not once talked about.
No, he asked me. Pickles asked me between November 5th and January 6th what happened. I said there were 61 court cases, and a lot of those court cases did not even go to
That's
trial because they lacked.
okay.
Pickles
You're on a
clarified.
different subject, my friend. So you're talking about
Well,
court
but
cases
that's what
that.
you and I were talking about before your
No, it
before
wasn't.
your
Let's
phone.
hold on.
before your
clarified.
phone
Let me
friend had to
hash
come in
this
and
out.
help you.
We're yelling over each other. You're
Okay, but
talking
he
about
keeps
court.
doing it.
You're talking about court cases that Trump's team brought to the judges. A lot of them were just
Yes.
affidavits. A lot of them didn't have any actual evidence. A lot of them just people just writing their name on a piece of paper saying, "I swear there's stuff going on." That's it. And what we're talking about is like Jack Smith investigating him for fake slates of electors, and we have actual letters of ascertainment with people's signatures. We have people in jail, people going to court. Tina Peters is facing 9 years. All of these things have happened. What you're trying to tell us is that these were thrown out because they had no standing. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that I'm not saying every one of those 61 cases that were brought during the time that the election to January 6th, not all 61 cases were not heard because of standing, but I said the majority of cases were heard for no standing in court, which means there was no harm to Trump that they could say, and that's what standing would be. And so that's what I was talking about. Now, if you want to talk about the Jack Smith stuff, where's Jack Smith today?
Just FYI, the Jack Smith stuff is what we were talking about.
Yeah,
Pickles
so
didn't
I-
clarify.
Jack Smith is
Steve,
no
you answer the
longer he's no longer on the cases. He's dropped the cases. You cannot
Perfect.
pursue a sitting president. This does not
Perfect.
point to anything in your favor. It just says
So why?
Trump's got
No,
immunity.
so why are we still talking about stuff that
You asked us why we don't like Trump.
Do you ever talk
I
about
didn't
Jeffrey?
ask you why you didn't like
Hold
Trump?
on.
I never asked you that question.
Liberal insanity. Do you ever talk about Jeffrey Epstein?
No, I don't.
Do you figure he's a bad person?
I don't give a damn. I'm sure he is. I just don't give a damn
you're being
about him.
bad faith. He's a
No, I
bad.
don't.
He's
I don't
obviously a
care.
bad person.
Obviously, yeah, great.
He's never been
Yo, is
convicted,
P.
has
Diddy
he?
a bad person?
He's never been convicted, right?
Has he?
Not
He
once.
was in. So he was in jail. He was in
So
jail
was
without
Trump.
any conviction.
So was Trump.
Trump
Yes,
never
he was in
accessed
jail
Trump.
without a conviction. Yeah.
Jeffrey Epstein was in jail, was he not?
Yeah, and
He
so
was
was Trump.
never convicted. He never went to
Never
court.
convicted.
Trump went and he never spent a night in jail. So
Does the duration of the time in jail have to do something with how guilty you are before
well, I'm
before
wondering
trial?
why.
You're
I'm
right.
wondering
OJ is
why-
definitely
never
innocent,
mind.
right?
Go ahead. We'll just let you keep ranting. Go ahead.
OJ is definitely innocent, right? He didn't do it.
No, I think OJ was guilty for sure.
Well, he didn't face any jail time, so he can't be guilty per your logic.
Well, again, I mean, my personal opinion of what the law is, it can be two totally different things.
So you're telling us that your personal opinion has some weight for what you believe, and not just how the courts didn't see it?
Right. My personal opinion does, but then we have to. I mean, obviously, we
Okay.
have to follow the law.
So that's
Whether or
why we
not my
talked about-
personal opinion matters, we have to follow the law.
If Trump potentially tried to throw 81 million votes and steal the election, that's a big deal. Of course, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it to the end of history, for perpetuity. The rest
This
of
is
the world
why
knows
you
this.
lost, though. This is the exact reason why your side lost, because everyone wanted to talk about the economy. They wanted to talk about the border. They wanted to talk about their pocketbook, and you still want to mitigate the 2020 election.
No, I talk about all of those things all the time, and it turns out most of you don't know anything about any of those things.
Oh, you don't want to have.
You know what's crazy to me, Pickles?
No,
You know what's
you
crazy
don't
to
want
me,
to have a financial
Pickles?
discussion with me,
I do.
buddy. You will
I would love
lose
to.
that discussion.
Let's talk.
Really quick,
will lose
really quick, and we can, Pickles. I just want to point out, it's crazy that they go. It's crazy that they go.
It's crazy
You know,
that they go. It's
he
crazy that they
definitely
go.
he did try to overthrow the election, but that's not what's important. It's not important that he tried to undermine the entire thing that runs our country. That's
So I
not
have
important.
a question
What
for you.
is
Pickles.
important is gas prices.
Listen,
Fuck everything else.
listen, we're done talking to you. I want to talk to the host. We're done talking to you. You're not
Yeah,
very
because you're scared. Because you're
Okay,
scared.
Pickles, I have a question for you, and this is an honest question because I do think you're able to critically think. Would you consider the founding fathers to be insurrectionists?
Yes.
I don't think so. No.
Really?
Would they overthrow a government?
I'm curious why you wouldn't think that. I honestly am curious why you wouldn't think that.
Did they overthrow a government?
Basically, yes.
What government did they
the
overthrow?
The 13 colonies were still under British rule, right? And we did kick them out of our.
We got independence. Did we storm the Capitol? Did we overthrow a government building? Did we stop an election? Did we do any of that?
No, I mean we didn't. No, I don't think we stopped an election. I don't think there was an election, whether or not we voted for the king of.
Did few people try to make decisions for the masses using force?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
I think collectively they all decided they wanted independence.
And the Declaration of Independence, which obviously isn't a legal doc, what we base our laws on, it says that if you don't believe the government is representing your ability for life, liberty, and happiness, it is your duty as an American citizen to abolish or rearrange the government. That's what it says in the Declaration of Independence. So what? And I'll land my plane in 20 seconds. Whether or not you agree with them, I'm not saying I agree with them either. But if it doesn't say only if 50 million people believe that, it says if anyone believes that their inalienable rights are being trampled upon by the government, it is their duty to overthrow the government. So
even if they're not,
hold on, you can't say that, and I'm not saying you, but you can't say you believe in insurrection like for the founding fathers, but you don't believe in it if people feel like the government is doing the same thing. That doesn't make
let's overthrow the government because of our fifis. That's
okay.
So fucking
Yeah, it was
bad.
based on a lie. It was based on a lie. You're justifying violence based on lies.
But they and again, I'm not saying I agree with them, but they in their mind don't think it was lies. So why are you the judge?
No,
okay.
this is how Wait,
Let me
Pickles, hold
finish.
on. Pickles, hold on. This is how I know he didn't
It's
read
not
the.
up to us
This
to
is how
be
I know you
judge,
didn't
jury,
read the
and
Jack Smith thing. Because if you had read the Jack Smith indictment, you'd have seen multiple times that Trump told his people, Trump was told by his people that all of the stuff that he was saying about the election
I'm
was
having a
untrue.
conversation with the host. All right, phone
Yes,
a friend.
because you're
I'm
scared.
done.
Because you're scared because you didn't
Well,
read it. That's why. Because you
listen,
didn't
you're
read
just
it.
a phone a
It's because
friend.
you
You're
didn't
just a
read it.
phone a
It's you
friend. It's a
didn't read it.
50-50
Yeah.
phone a friend. He
You're
was eating.
scared because you
I
didn't
get
read
why
it.
you.
Go,
I
we
get why he
know.
called you your phone a friend. So I
You
get
didn't
it,
read
man.
it. We get
I
it.
get
We
it.
know you didn't read it. Got it.
Okay, so it doesn't say like I don't want to be the judge and jury and executioner on whether or not people believe that their rights are being trampled. That's not for us to decide. If they thought that their rights were being trampled, they have a right as American citizens to do what they did.
To protest. To protest.
Do we have the right to
You have
protest?
the right to protest.
Right.
You don't have the right to overthrow a free and fair election. And there's
Well,
nothing in the
that's
Constitution that says, "Hey, if your fifis are hurt, just take it by force."
Go. If your fifis are hurt, hatch a
so.
plot to certify
So that
fake
so
electors and
but
send
that's
those to
your
the vice
but
president. That makes
okay,
total
phone
sense.
phone a friend, phone a friend, stop.
Not
Listen,
being scared, bro.
that's your opinion that it
Jesus,
was a
bro.
free and fair election. Now I'm not saying the election was stolen, but there is a Pennsylvania thing. So we
No,
believe in
there's
the separation of powers, right? We believe that
Some of us do. Yeah.
well, I don't think you Democrats do actually.
Hmm.
So we have the
spell
judicial
separation of
branch.
power.
Okay, phone a friend
Spell
again.
it. Spell it.
Stop.
Spell it right now.
Mute. Phone a
Spell
friend.
it.
No one's
Spell
talking to
separation
you.
of power.
No one's talking to you. So
Yeah, because you didn't read it.
The Pennsylvania Supreme Court 3 days before the election changed the election law. Is it the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania's job to interpret law or to make law?
Interpret?
Yeah. So why are they changing it 3 days before the election?
I don't know. You guys have done a lot of that too. What we're
No,
talking about is a
I'm not
legal
saying we're change
process.
the election, but
If Joe Biden went to Pennsylvania and forced them to do something that was against the law, then that's another story. But if everything was done kosher, everything was done within the law, that's you have no room to stand. We're talking about a
So-
man that literally did things with co-conspirators to illegally do things in a way that was behind the scenes that would have thrown out 81 million votes. And there's a reason Mike Pence would not stand for that. And there's a reason why Mike Pence isn't here anymore, right?
yeah, I mean, obviously there's a reason, but again, so it's their job to interpret law, not make law. So what? Again, the question is, why did they change the law?
What law was changed?
The law to allow mail-in votes to be counted 3 days after the election, when before the law was it had to be postmarked and counted before the election or on election day.
That
So
law was changed in October.
why did the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania not interpret the law? Why did they change it? If
They
you
did
believe in
interpret it.
separation of powers,
They did interpret it.
Did they write a new law or did they interpret a law?
yes, they changed the law. Yes, that's the point.
Supreme Court can't just write laws. Can't legislate.
That's what they did.
They didn't do that.
That's the only red flag I have on it. I'm not saying it would have changed it. I'm saying
did
that's
the
a
Supreme
red flag.
Court write a new law when they overturned Roe v. Wade?
No, there was a case brought before them. They don't just write new law. There was a case
Exactly.
brought before them.
Exactly.
Pickles,
There was not-
Pickles, if I
Did it
Pickles,
change
if I
the
may,
law? Did it
No.
change the
Pickles,
law?
if I may, liberal insanity doesn't know what he's talking about because the Supreme Court didn't make that law. They were upholding a decision made by the lower courts. The
That's
lower
what I
courts
just
made those
said. That's what I
decisions.
just said. Were you
No,
not?
you said the Supreme Court made the law.
Listen.
The Supreme Court didn't.
No, I
make
did
it.
not. I said the
Yes, you
Supreme
did.
Court rule. Phone a friend. Listen, you're not good.
Yes,
at
you
this.
did.
I said the
You
Supreme
said-
Court interpreted the law that was brought before them. There was a case brought before them in Roe versus Wade, and they interpreted the
That's
from a
how,
lower
yeah.
court.
So they
This is what happened.
interpreted. They didn't
Phone a
change
friend.
anything. They
Stop.
just
Phone a friend.
interpreted.
Phone
The
a friend.
whole
Stop.
thing. I'm sorry, Pickles. Did you not answer with, well, they interpreted? And he said, well, no, they didn't interpret.
No,
I'm sorry.
the difference is
fuck is
the
you talking
Pennsylvania
about?
Supreme. No, the difference is the Pennsylvania Supreme Court changed the law
They didn't.
on their own.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
No, they didn't.
Prove it to me that they didn't. Prove it to me.
You are making the claim. Prove they did.
They
You are
did.
making the claim. So give a source.
New York Times, Washington Post, New York Post.
That's
all
not how
those-
sourcing works. I don't know if you know how sourcing works. Give the actual source.
No, tell us, Mr. Genius. How does absolute
Sourcing doesn't work by just saying the name of publications. Give the actual source of the information. Maybe middle school was too hard for you.
Phone a friend? Listen, you don't want to do this.
We do, yeah. Give the source.
You don't want to do this, buddy. I
I'm
promise.
waiting for the source. I'm waiting for the
I
source.
gave it to you 3 times. Do you have like a cognitive dissonance? Do you have
I'm
hearing
sorry,
problems?
Pickles. Did
Do you
you
have
hear a source?
do you have neural pathways in your brain that just aren't firing?
Pickles, I'm
Like
sorry.
with
Did
this,
you hear a source at any
I,
point here?
I didn't hear source, and I'm going to take the time real quick. I'm posting a new goal. Chat tonight. I am doing I'm doing a goal to
friend, you're
quit
not good at this,
nicotine.
buddy.
I'm doing a goal
I'm
to quit
waiting for the
nicotine.
source.
If I get 50 dragons tonight, which is a lot, I don't even know how much that
What
is.
is dragon? What are dragons? I don't know what dragons are. What are dragons?
500 coins.
Wow.
If I get
Give
500
them 5
coins
dragons.
times 50, I'm quitting nicotine tonight. I know it's a little high. I don't know. We'll fill it out. But if we hit that, I'm quitting tonight. I'm quitting. And there's one other person also helping. Anyways, y'all go ahead.
What are you quit? What are you quitting? What are you trying to quit?
Snus. Nicotine.
Huh?
Nicotine.
Oh, okay. Phone a friend. I'm glad you're talking about neural pathways in the brain, though.
I
You
don't
sound
care.
like
Name
you
a
understand
source.
that.
I don't care. I don't care about any of this. Give a source.
No, really, no one cares either because
I don't care. Give a source.
listen. We control the House, the Senate, the
You can
presidency,
keep
and the
going. You
courts.
can that
We
doesn't matter
really
with
don't care
anything
about
right now.
anything
Name a
you have to
source.
say. Just sit down and
Notice
enjoy
that
the
you
next
can't
4
name a
years.
source. Do you notice that? Pickles, do you
Risa,
notice
thank you
that?
so much for the
Phone a
subscription.
friend. Just sit down and enjoy the next 4 years.
Liberal.
Can't name a
We don't need
source.
you.
Liberal.
We don't need you at all.
Every time you
Source.
say
Can't
phone
name
a
a source.
friend,
Got it.
every time you say phone a friend, it's kind of derailing our conversation. You're adding a little motion to it. Let's try to stay on track.
Yeah, my voice has stayed pretty much the same the whole time, bud. So.
Okay, but
Waiting
if
for a
I
source.
said hey fatso or something, like, you wouldn't like that, right?
I'm getting there. To be honest with you, I'm I need to cut down about 20 pounds, so it'd probably be pretty accurate.
You get what I'm saying.
Waiting for a
bro.
source. Waiting for a source, bro.
That's good. If I'm not back in 5 minutes or you don't get in source in 5 minutes, just wait longer. That's from like a Jim Carrey movie too. So just keep waiting longer, phone a friend. It's okay.
You can't. Okay, got it.
Yeah, you're not good at this, buddy. Anyways, I enjoy this. You seem
Still
like
waiting on a source.
you seem like a semi-rational guy, unlike this
waiting.
guy whose neural pathways are not firing
Still
correctly.
waiting.
You can keep waiting, buddy. Keep waiting all night
you
long.
can't
We're
provide
rooting
one.
for you.
Got it.
We're rooting for you,
Because you
buddy.
can't
All
provide
night long.
you
We'll just sit
have
here
one.
and we'll sit here and wait. Let's sit here and wait.
I don't really think this is going to be the slam dunk you think it is. With the laws changing the courts, the Supreme Court obviously you just admitted didn't change the law, so it was the legislature. We have your argument's kind of gone.
No, that's not what I said. I said the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania changed the law.
They interpreted a law passed to them, right?
Okay, they did not. They changed it.
Okay, let's see.
There's a huge difference between interpreting and changing.
Okay.
And I'm not saying it would have won him the election. I'm just saying that's a red flag for the 2020 election when state Supreme Courts are not doing what they're supposed to, which is interpret law. They're changing law. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it would have changed anything. I'm saying it's a red flag for me.
The Supreme Court can't change the law without interpretation, but it can invalidate laws that are unconstitutional. Supreme Court's role is to interpret law, and decisions can alter how laws are applied. Right?
Interpret law, and they changed it. That's the difference.
Can you give me where can I find this? Just tell me.
Yeah,
I'll type it.
I'm on my phone right now. I'm not on a computer, and I would have to get off the app to do that.
Just tell me what to search. What would you type into this search bar?
I would type in Pennsylvania Supreme Court changes election law 3 days before election, something to that effect. And again, I'm not saying it would have changed it. I'm saying that's a red flag for me.
Ballot rules, Pennsylvania. Consider changing ballot. It's too close to election day to consider. That was October. Okay, that was different. Republicans asked Supreme Court to block decision to count. No. Supreme Court allows Pennsylvania to count ballots 3 days after Election Day. And a 4-4 decision allowed Supreme Court decision to stand. That requires ballots received up to 3 days. So a decision to stand. I don't think that they didn't invoke this.
But what was the law before that? What was the law before that decision?
So they can interpret laws, right? And it would change the law, right?
No, what I'm saying is the law before the Pennsylvania said that the mail-in ballots had to be counted up to Election Day, and after that they changed it to it being allowed to count 3 days after. That's exactly what it's saying. That's not interpreting law. That's changing law. The law before was before the election, and then after it was after the election. That's changing.
And then the upper Supreme Court also upheld their decision?
The Supreme Court didn't. The Supreme Court of the United States did not take up the case.
Justice Alito, Gorsuch, and Kavanaugh voted against allowing the lower court decision to stand. The event of the Supreme Court ties, the lower court decision remains in place. As in typical emergency cases, the Supreme Court issued no opinion in this case. During the
Right. They said we're not going to take the case up. They didn't take it up.
Pennsylvania election boards received 1.8 million requests.
Isn't it weird that everything I said about this is actually
Pennsylvania's election code
It's
deadline
not.
to receive a mail-in at
Actually,
8 p.m.
Phone a friend. We're done with you.
Actually,
Stop
it's
this.
not
It is.
actually. You
So
misinterpreted what
that's
happened.
wrong? So what did I say that's wrong?
Because what happened is the Pennsylvania legislature put in a law in 2019 that was the first time it happened, allowing Pennsylvania citizens to vote. Now, what happened was around the time of vote by mail, sorry, it allowed them to vote by mail for the first time. This was in 2019 that this was put through. Come election time around the 2020 election, it was, should we allow mail-in votes that get here late? And the Supreme Court said yes. That's it. That's
Okay,
what
so
happened.
before that, they did not allow that. Before that, they did not allow, and after COVID, they did
changed the
allow it.
law. They
That's
just said,
called
"Hey,
changing it.
hey, not
That's
no,
literally
no,
what
it
called
doesn't.
changing
No,
it
it
is
doesn't.
about, dude.
It
Oh my
doesn't.
fucking hell, dude.
It
That's
doesn't.
changed. They changed it.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did. You could
No, they
only
didn't.
send a mail of ballots before the election, and it was counted until the election. And after, in 2020, you could count it 3 days after. What would you call that?
It didn't change
Yes,
what
it did.
happened. No, it didn't.
Yes.
What
Oh
happened?
my
No,
gosh.
it didn't. That's not what happened.
So if I sent in my mail-in ballot 3 days after the election, before they changed it, it wouldn't get counted.
No, it
But
would have
in
gotten counted.
2020, if I did it, it would get counted. That's called changing the law.
Did the Supreme Court change the law when women lost their rights to abortion in red states?
Did they change the law?
Mm-hmm. Did they just unilaterally change a law?
Well, there was a court case brought before them. They didn't just unilaterally do it. There was a court case that they decided.
Could
to
they have
hear.
ever done that?
Could they have ever done that without a case coming to them? I don't think so.
Okay, so I don't think what you're saying is even possible. The way you're
So
interpreting
Pickles-
this situation is the only way you can say that we did something fishy. And even then, I don't think that counting ballots that people mailed and voted, like, it doesn't mean that they shouldn't have been able to be like, these are people that should have had their votes counted.
Because I'm not what I'm not saying it would have changed the election. I'm saying it's just a red flag for me that 3 days before the election they decide to change election law.
They didn't
That's
change
all I
anything.
was
The mail still had
Yes,
to be
they
post-dated
did.
before election day.
No, they did not.
It did.
And so I'll end with this, and it's been a pretty good.
You'll end with this because you got no response. Did the mail had to be postmarked prior to election day? Yes or no?
They changed the law.
No,
I've
they
said
didn't.
it multiple
Well,
times.
they didn't. The mail
So
had to be
Pickles,
postmarked prior to election day. Nothing changed.
Can you name me in the
This
U.S.
is it.
Constitution?
So you got no response.
Can you name me in the U.S. Constitution? Yeah, trust me.
Amazing. No response.
Can you name me in the U.S. Constitution where what amendment or whatever where it grants you the right to an abortion?
There isn't one.
Okay.
Fucking
So
pivot after pivot after pivot.
let me make and then I'll listen to you guys. So the founding fathers, Madison, and all those people believed that they believe in states' rights. So if it's not specifically mentioned in the Constitution as something the federal government should handle, it should be handled by the states. So all they did was take it back to 200 years of precedence before Roe versus Wade and give it to the states, which is what the founding fathers wanted.
This is how you guys sleep at night. I know, but this is all it did was there were trigger laws that went into place. He knew this was an accident. This was his goal. This was the Supreme Court's goal. This is why they were paid to make this decision and tipped and lavished. This is what they did. This wasn't just like them being like, you know what, today I'm gonna figure out how this is. I'm going to make sure everything's up to par with the Constitution. No, they did this politically. They did this as activists to outlaw abortion in 20-something states. So this wasn't just giving states more power. Yeah. My state in Texas, I have no choice. We cannot vote for it. It's not on a ballot initiative. There are many other states like this. This is not something that gave anyone sovereignty.
You should vote for people that are going to align more with what you want then. That's called the democratic process. That's how we do things.
Are we democracy?
Well, we're a constitutional republic, but you know what we're talking. So listen, I'm going to sleep really well tonight. My pile is full of money on my 1,200 acres because I'm extremely rich and wealthy, and I love it.
Anybody notice he couldn't fucking substantiate his claim? Amazing.
No, the article is actually right up here. He actually pulled it up, buddy. Nice try.
The mail have to be post-dated pre-election day, yes or no?
Nice try, phone a friend.
Yes or no? Answer the question. Fucking scaredy cats, bro. Oh my god. I'm sorry, Pickles. They're so annoying.
I know.
They literally can't substantiate any of their shit. They literally can't
What's up, Connor?
Hi, what's going on, man?
You a Trump supporter?
Of course. Why are you not a Trump supporter?
Because they try to overthrow the U.S. government.
Because I'm not a billionaire.
That too.
Well, I mean, you should. I mean, if you was a billionaire, I mean, he would be for you, and you have more money.
Yeah.
But he's also for us Americans. He's for everybody. He's for all Americans.
That's beautiful, but tell me how.
Because for one, he's going to cut taxes for the middle class, but also he's also going to appeal to the
Let's talk
Do
about
it,
taxes.
do it, Pickles.
He's also going to
Do it,
cut
Pickles.
the corporate tax rate.
Pull it up, Pickles. Pull it up.
And when he does these things, I don't want to see your left wing media radical CNN site.
I
don't
know
wanna see this.
you've been programmed to have knee-jerk reactions to data, but this is what the two policies looked like between Kamala and Trump. You see all the yellow stuff? That's him raising taxes on the lower class, middle class, all the way up to 400K people. And then see Kamala's that she would have cut them all for us. This is from the Internet Institute of Taxation and Economic Policy. This is, if you don't know what ITEP is, it's a pretty dang good source.
If Comrade Harris would cut taxes, why did she cut taxes? And in the 4 years,
because
she had been in office.
tax codes are written every 10 years. It landed on Trump his first administration, and it's landing on Trump again.
Yeah, whose tax plan are we currently under, Connor?
The Biden and Harris tax plan.
No. We're under Trump's tax plan right now.
Okay, and if you are, why didn't they change it?
You can't change the tax code because you want to. You have to do it. It's only every 10 years.
Why didn't they push Congress? They had.
Could you imagine, Connor?
They have had the Senate control. Why didn't they push Congress?
How many votes in Congress would it take to overturn a tax law?
How many votes?
Mm-hmm.
So isn't it like 65% or something?
It's like 2/3.
Connor, could you imagine the hell our country would be in if every 4 years our tax policy changed? How could you even do that?
So what you're telling me is that you agree with the Trump tax policy?
No, I don't.
No.
Vehemently. Somehow you guys are taught that this is good or it's a lie. I don't know which one you think it is, but neither one are
I think it's a lie. What did this left-wing media, CNN, site, MSNBC,
can you,
ABC
Connor,
News site you have up?
Find me a graph just like this that's your version, Connor's version. What's Trump saying that is the truth? What's Trump's version?
I'm not sure, but I mean, I would trust a site that's not fake news, or like ONN.
This is the Institute of Taxation and Economic Policy.
Did you just say Newsmax, bro?
Newsmax. I mean,
Newsmax has been sued for lying. You know that, right?
You know, I would say Fox News, but I don't really like Fox News.
Fox News has also been sued for lying.
Yeah, I mean, what was that dude that got fired? I used to like him. What was his name?
Wait, Connor, can you just tell us, were taxes better last year?
Texas was, I mean, all my taxes had been higher because of the Biden and Harris administration.
Biden and Harris didn't do anything to the tax plan.
Connor, do you make over $400,000 a year?
Yes, I do. I mean, I'm actually a farm worker, working a farm, and I actually own a farm in the middle of Missouri.
Wait,
so we subsidize. We pay you to farm, don't we?
Sure do. Pickles, he said that his taxes were
no money from the government. No money from the government.
You said that your taxes were higher last year, but whose tax plan are we under right now?
I mean, according to you, I guess we're under the
Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. So Donald Trump is the reason your taxes were higher because we're under his tax plan.
Okay. And you're going to lower them. You're going to lower it back the way it was.
I'm sorry. Are you looking at Pickle's screen right now?
It's not going to lower it for me, and for the majority of Americans, that's why they shouldn't have voted for him. See, the majority of Americans fall like to the left of these lines where Trump starts giving everyone tax breaks. That's over. His buddies are getting these tax breaks, and you, with knowing almost nothing, you just think it's great for you. I don't feel like you know anything about this. You have no context. You have no nuance. You just think everything that's bad is a lie. It's scary.
Hey, you trying to slide me something, bro?
I'm sorry?
You trying to slide me? I seen that notification. You trying to slide me something? You getting
No,
banned.
you're good, dude. You're good.
Come on, I seen that pop up. You trying to slide something, man?
You gotta work, buddy. You gotta work.
This is embarrassing.
You try to slide something to the average American here. I mean, y'all care, you Harris supporters care about that American so, but you might as well.
Hey, you're a
give me
farmer,
something.
right, Connor? You're a
I
farmer.
seen that. That was.
We
that
already
was
subsidize
4
all your
digits right
farming.
there, brother.
You already get all my
Even
tax
worse
dollars.
than that.
We
Even worse than
subsidize
that.
your
How do you
farming.
feel, Connor? How do you
So-
feel about Donald Trump
I just
destroying
want to ask
the
you. I just want to
agricultural?
ask Pickles a
Wait,
question.
Connor. How do you feel about Donald Trump destroying the agricultural market when he started a trade war with China?
He didn't destroy the agricultural market. That was only the Chinese bought soybean farmers. See, you Americans don't know anything because you're not in the industry like me.
30% of our privately owned farms had to sell to major corporations. He had to bail out farms with $63 billion in bailouts,
which is like a fourth of the tariffs.
Those
like the money that the tariffs are projected to pull in.
Over the next, only the soybean farmers, which are only bought by the Chinese Communist Party.
They're not, but they're Americans, just like you and I, and they do soybeans. And then when we put a fucking tariff up, they put a counter tariff, and they went out of business because it made their fucking crops impossible to profit off of. That's why. It's not because they're communists. They're Americans just like you.
Well, Connor doesn't care. Connor doesn't care if Trump destroys Americans.
And we're all going to reap the benefits of Trump's term. We have.
Can you tell me? Can you tell me where I can find that information? I've never seen an economist say that.
Yes,
give me some of the benefits.
I mean, I'm not really sure. I mean, you have your tablet or computer up right here. You can search it up. I don't really
you're
have
the 700th person I've asked for this information, and you're the 700th person to
I
not
would
have
give it to you, but so what do you want me to give you again? I can find
me something that shows that Trump's taxes are geared towards the middle class, like you said.
Well, you can go on. I mean, I have seen the chart that he has lowered middle class chart. From Obama term to his term to his first term, he lowered it. I can't remember. But okay, that's nice. That's nice. You be hallucinating and stuff. I hope you get some help, brother.
Well, I just figured we were both telling people things that we've never actually seen.
Well,
we weren't doing that.
I thought we were telling imaginary things. If I had a computer in front of me and I only have a phone,
bro, you're a 400,000-millionaire. You should have a computer, man, or second device.
I mean, yeah, but it's late at night. I'm laying in bed, and honestly, I don't want to get up and after the long day work. I don't want to get up and get to my desk.
A 400,000-millionaire is so crazy.
But
hey, Connor, how do you feel that? Connor, what state are you in?
Missouri.
Okay. How do you feel about the fact that Donald Trump basically said he doesn't care how people in Arizona vote?
Yeah, I mean, am I from Arizona, bro? He cares.
So you don't care about your fellow American?
Wasn't Arizona a blue state?
It's a swing.
I'm just confirming you don't care about your fellow American.
And the fellow American doesn't care about us. The real Americans. We're patriots. Red country, brother.
You're not a patriot, I promise you.
How am I not a patriot, brother?
Do patriots support people that try to overthrow the government?
We did not.
Did we support Benedict Arnold?
We all know that was the FBI and Antifa.
Can you show me where we found that? Because there's a bunch of people who were convicted and charged and in jail, including like the leader of the Proud Boys, who were definitely not Antifa.
No, honestly, like Donald Trump said, it was a day of peace and love.
That doesn't answer my question, man.
I don't even speak for those people that was there. I was not there.
So they're not Antifa.
That was a small marginal group that was there, brother. And And it's
Why
sad
were
that
they
we
there?
had some people die that day due to cops wanted to shoot Ashley Babbitt, rip her soul, rip her great soul, rip Ashley Babbitt's soul.
Hey, we're
That
stoked. We're stoked.
shit.
She's 4 years sober. 4 years and 9 days. We're stoked about that.
Are you saying this? Are you saying that about Ashley, about her mother that has not lost her life? Are you saying about Ashley Babbitt?
Yeah, I'd piss on her grave if I could.
This looks like
You
such a
are a
good.
sick
Isn't this such a
man.
day of peace right here?
You are a sick man. Oh my, I can't do it no more.
I knew somebody was trolling. Jesus Christ!
God damn it,
Oh
Connor.
my god. Oh my bad, y'all. Hey, my bad. My bad.
Connor,
I'm sorry.
someone send me
It's Chris,
fucking.
man.
Someone send me some
It's
Advil.
Chris,
Get
man.
out of here, Connor. Someone send me some fucking Advil. I swear to God.
I would piss on Ashley Babbitt's grave though if I had the chance. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. Yellow. Brittany Beers. Okay.
Hello.
Yellow.
Hey, what's up?
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Um,
Dab with the galaxy. Thanks, bro.
I did. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say I'm a Trump supporter. I did vote for Trump though this past election.
Annie, shut the fuck up.
So you supported Trump?
TikTok ban temporarily suspended.
Um,
250 days.
I didn't see that. I didn't see that. I saw that it didn't get pushed through.
what was it? No.
Annie, don't you lie to me like that. TikTok ban on hold? Hold on. Everyone shut the fuck up.
I hope so, man. I hope Trump saves it like he said he was going to.
Take a ban. 12 hours, 6 hours, 12 hours, 6 hours, one day.
Yeah, I didn't see anything.
This is breaking news.
I think Trump will save it, man.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't.
You hope he doesn't?
This app is a cancer.
Tommy's reporting it.
But like you guys make a lot of money off this.
Although I
app,
gotta
right?
say, it would really piss Trump off if Biden saved it right before he left office. Yo, Trump would be livid.
What if Trump just bought it?
I would not like that.
With what money? Homie's
Can
broke.
someone at me? The news. Biden says TikTok won't go dark on Sunday. Biden initially looks for ways to keep TikTok available. Hold on.
Ways to make it available. How about you just not have signed the fucking bill, Jack?
God damn it. Fucking God shit whore. Fucking stop blocking ads. Thank you.
So yeah, Aaron Parnas and V are on right now. They're reporting this. Americans should not expect to see TikTok suddenly banned on Sunday, an administrative official says, adding that officials are exploring options for how to implement the law so that TikTok does not go dark on Sunday. Like this is
That
the only.
doesn't sound like much, bro. Not gonna lie.
Well, this is what Aaron and V are saying is the only way that this can be stopped is if the Supreme Court steps in.
Well, they've already said that they're going to shut the servers down. Like they're already in place to be shut down.
If it goes through.
Well, as of right now, they're no. Well, if it
is through though.
At this
it
point,
has
it's
gone
already
through.
gone through.
So
unless the Supreme Court says tomorrow, or
this was reported less than an hour ago.
Yeah, but it sounds like they're just reporting on. It sounds like they're just reporting on shit we already knew.
It's a 90 extension.
It's a 90-day extension.
Can we get this? Can we just burn
I'm
it all to the
I'm just
ground?
a messenger. I'm just putting out there what all the other reporters are saying.
It's you who did this.
It is me. It is me, goddammit.
You're Mr. TikTok himself.
I appreciate the vote of confidence.
Congressman, I'm from Singapore.
Did this legislation get shut down from Markey?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like almost immediately.
What the fuck?
Like he barely got 30 words in, and they were like, "Nah, bro." We ain't doing
That was
this.
the 270 days, but that was a bill that they were trying to pass. Apparently, this is going to be executive order. So
It
we'll
requires.
see, man. This is what everybody's reporting on. They're saying the Supreme Court. I was just listening to V. She's saying the Supreme Court is the only thing that could stop an executive order if Biden does this. So we'll see, man.
Fuck. John
Like, they're
Roberts,
just playing
you
with my
better.
emotions right now.
Bro, what if this whole thing was orchestrated and Biden signed the original bill to begin with just to executive order it the day before he leaves office? That would be crazy.
All right. All right. What do you like about Trump, bro?
All right, man. I'm out.
All
You
right.
guys have a good night.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, so I guess my list of things I like about him wouldn't outweigh the things that I disagree with what he says. I think the reason I voted for him is because I didn't have a third option. I dislike Kamala Harris just based off of her lack of experience, I guess, and not
Really?
like in government. I'm not talking about like in government. I'm just talking about like the fact that like I didn't. I think like a lot of Americans felt this way too. I just didn't have enough time to get to know her, you know.
She's been in office for 4 years.
Right, but I hadn't heard of her before, like before she was VP.
She was in office in California for like 16 years.
Right, yeah. I'm not in California, and like, I know there's certain politicians that you don't really have to keep up with politics still to be able to know. You know what I mean?
You got to recognize that that's like a really weak reason to vote for somebody, right?
Yeah, yeah. No. I didn't vote for Trump as just out of like, I think he's the best guy in the world. You know what I mean? I think he says a lot of dumb stuff. But one thing that pickles up, I've actually been watching you for a little while, man.
Just think.
Can you bring it? Can you bring up your drawing board thing that you do sometimes? And the two triangles.
Yeah.
See, like for somebody like me, I'm gonna be honest. This when you did the thing about immigration, which is something I haven't agreed with Trump on either. Just because like I recognize to a point that we need them. I just didn't know to what extent we did until you showed that. And when I saw that, I just like I went and grabbed my wife and I was like, "Hey, look at this," because she's like me. She's a very visual learner. So like when I saw that, I was like, you know what? Yeah, he's 100% fucking right. Our not just our elderly people, but like everybody is cooked if they all have to go at one time. I don't think that you guys want undocumented immigrants that are committing heinous crimes to stay here. I'm pretty sure we're on the same
It's
page as that.
that's already the law though. So like if you're undocumented, you get caught committing crime, you're usually expelled or go to prison.
Right. And I think a lot of people on my side think that you guys want those people here, but I can recognize that you don't. That's probably where we're very similar, right?
Yeah.
We
And
don't
that
want them here.
I would say that's a little like the common propaganda I hear is like we want them to vote in our elections. That's not happening. We're not trying to do that. We would like to give them a path to citizenship, and that's where we get tied up. Like when we say, "Hey, let's make immigration easier or more viable for people to like come without paying 10 grand and waiting 10, 20 years," we could actually have people come and fix this problem we're having, and it not like be so taxing or a burden or so fearful for everybody who's like, "Oh, we don't know who they are." Uh,
Yeah.
these are all things we could fix if we did that. But yeah, the Republicans don't like that. They the rhetoric, the poisoning blood of the country, they're vermin, they have bad genes, all this stuff, and they're voting in our elections. This is what's keeping people hung up on the right for fixing some of the stuff we need to fix.
What's the word that you used to describe this? It was in something
Insolvency.
in insolvency. Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, so like if we have 500 people that fuel one person's retirement, that works. But if it drops to 300, it's not enough. It's insolvent.
Right. Okay. Okay. I see. So it's like unequal, kind of, right?
It's
Or
yeah,
like it
like
won't add
yeah.
up. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I like that. Well, I guess one of the things I would say that made me vote Trump, other than the fact that, just like I said before, I can't stress it enough. I just didn't feel like I had a third option, and I didn't feel like I was educated enough, I guess. So I'll be one of those that come up here and actually tell you that, when like a lot of them won't, just say that they didn't read up on every candidate.
That's fair.
Um, so I mean, I'm in a red state anyway. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered, but in the sense, like we almost just didn't vote, but then I was like, if I don't vote, then I can't talk shit, and I can't even talk to you right now, right? Because I don't have a. I feel you have to vote regardless of who you vote for. Um, but I would say that one thing was how I do feel like a lot of countries take advantage of us in different way, like in different trades. And I'm not talking about any specific countries, right? I just feel like other countries in the past that we buy lots of goods and things from, um, even at small rates, like they don't really return. We don't, and maybe that's just because we don't have a lot to offer. You know what I mean?
the
Like,
the real
but
thing is like Trump's been feeding people this thing like we're getting ripped off, like you said, or that we have a trade deficit, and this is another boogeyman in my opinion. So like I have a trade deficit with Walgreens. Does that mean they're screwing me? No. It's just the nature of the business I do with Walgreens. So like our money is worth a
Wait,
lot.
but no, no,
Huh?
Walgreens overcharges
Okay,
for
well
like
yeah, they suck,
everything.
but still like we don't want like our economy. We want to start doing things like microchips and stuff like that. We don't want to go back to making all the stuff that takes unskilled labor and stuff. Like if other nations are geared to do that and trade with us in that way, like let them. I want them to. I don't want to do all that stuff here. Like we can focus on much more important things that are vital to the future than shoes and plastic. And I don't like this is just the rhetoric that gets people amped up. Like we're getting ripped off by Mexico and Canada, and the fact is our money's worth a lot of money. Like our dollar is worth more than the yen. So when we trade, we go a lot further. We can buy a lot of shit from China, and when
oh
they
yeah,
trade, they can't buy so much.
yeah, that's yeah. I think that's why it's more fun for us to have vacation in like other countries, right? Where our dollar's worth more, we can spend a little bit more time there and things
Yeah,
like that. Yeah, so yeah, I agree, and that's a good thing. That's kind of a it's like a subtle flex, that we can do stuff like that
yeah.
without really having to do anything to acquire it, right? You can still make like a regular wage and still have a good time somewhere else.
Yeah, and like that, the
That's
nature of like that imbalance, it's not hurting us. Like you can learn to be upset about it for some reason and be like ultra nationalist and be like, I want all of that here or something. Like it's nothing but a bunch of weird feelings that are being invoked by the words he's saying. I don't think it's a
yeah,
real threat. I don't think it's a real problem.
which I could bring up like a lot of other reasons that I think, like I went towards the right. Like I wouldn't even want to call myself a Republican. I would say I'm like somewhere in the middle, I like things I like ideas from both sides. Um, like but there's no sense anymore. I've realized that, and it took me the last 2 months to realize this. Um, and the first time that I was even able to vote was 2020, right? So I just to like give you some perspective on just how old I am. But um, the thing I've realized the last 2 months that I should have realized a lot sooner probably was that the there you shouldn't just vote for one thing like I did, right? Like while I am pro life for my like religion and stuff, I probably shouldn't just look at that when I'm looking at voting, right? Like I should look at a lot more things that actually fucking matter to me.
I agree.
Um, like economy. Like sure, I can still not like something, and but like I think it took me this long to realize that like there's tons of shit that I don't like. That's just the way it's gonna be forever, and nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, that's
Um,
what I always think about this too. So like how far would people be willing to go with their pro right stance or their pro gun stance to the detriment of our economy? So like if they're so anchored into that party and they won't budge based on pro life, and the politicians know that, they could be like, all right, well they're pro life, they're not going anywhere. We're gonna pass a bunch of laws that are for rich people only, and they're still gonna vote for us. They don't give a fuck. That's what
yeah,
scares me.
and I will say one thing too that kind of had me like on edge was after I saw Trump actually won. Because I'm gonna be honest, like I didn't know if he's gonna win. It was like a coin toss for me, you know. Um, but when I saw that he won, it was like, okay, just one man, he can't do that much damage. And then I started seeing the people that he was appointing, and I'm a veteran, right? So, and I'm disabled, so it's very hard for me to get a regular job now, right? And then I saw the guy that he put over the VA, and I was worrying. I was like, well, with them coming in and finding money in these government, agencies and stuff, and trying to cut out and save a lot of money, are they going to cut my fucking benefits?
Yeah.
Is that even a chance that they can cut my benefits? Like, think about it. Like, I just had my first daughter born 3 weeks ago. I cannot afford that. You know. So that's one of those situations where it was like, well, I can't really complain because I voted for Trump. However, it was like a wake up call kind of thing. You know, it was like I got to be more careful. But at the same time, I just hope that he doesn't. You know, I hope that that's one thing that that they keep. Because I'm not just I'm not just saying it because I am a vet. I could have never served, but I feel like if you was a vet and you can work when you get out, then you should work. But if you can't, then we should definitely I'm not asking for a bunch of money because we don't get a bunch of money, but it's just like the bare minimum to live, essentially. But I don't know too much about him. That's why it worried me. Like the guy for the VA, I don't know that much about him. I know he's worked in the VA a long time, but that doesn't really mean anything. And if he's going to go in there to just try to prove a point and try to make a name for himself, then there's no telling what'll happen, man.
Homie, just real quick, me and you talked before the election.
Yeah. I've actually changed my stance like almost a complete 180.
But I gave you all this information prior to the election.
Yeah, I didn't read that much until like a little bit after me and you talked, actually. Yeah. Yeah, I've actually talked. Well, I haven't talked with you before, host, but I've talked with Javon a couple of times, and all the conversations that we've had, like, I guess I've just been stuck, like in what I'd been kind of I don't know, just told, over time, and didn't really look into it too much. But it took me some time. I mean, I'm probably not. It's probably not very common for somebody to come up here and tell them like, hey, like I voted for Trump, but I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just gonna be honest with you, and I think like a majority of us too are like that, or would be like that had we just known. Like I'll be up here, like I'll tell everybody like I'm a veteran. I'll die. I mean, I will unalive for this country, but at the same time, like you don't need to take everything Trump says as like fucking Jesus Christ said it, because he's not Jesus. He never will be. Yeah, I just kind of I just wish that there was like another person that we know a little bit more, and that was like truly independent. I think it's sad to be an independent too, because like there's nobody that represents the independent party that's worth a damn,
Yeah, I agree. Psychotic dude, where have you been, Tim? Thank you, dude.
How do you feel about the libertarian group?
I think they're silly.
Yeah,
I think they're silly. Like it has to be so watered down for you to even like exist in this political spectrum. Like they believe in open borders. If you're a libertarian, you believe in open borders. You believe in like the free move of trade and people and the government being non-existent. You don't believe in war at all. Like if you even vote red, like the slightest bit on the right, you were so antithetical to every one of those things.
Yeah, it was very complex for me to understand it. It's hard enough to understand, the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, and then I did some research on that one. I only knew one guy, and he was like a governor in Arizona or something, or some guy who was running, I think, 4 years ago that was libertarian, and he didn't make it far, but it doesn't surprise me.
I need to say something slightly off topic. Can we get a petition for Pickles to mute his Discord notifications? Because I swear to God.
I thought it was mine at first.
My
No, it's
bad.
Rickles.
My
It's always does it.
bad. My bad. Let me change it right now.
No, but Jovan, like one of the conversations that me and you've had in the past, and it took me a minute to really think about it, was your was like your stance on like the whole like abortion thing, you know? Um I was only reading it the way I wanted to read it, like the way that you have it on your backdrop, you know? Um and that's something I can come out and say that I was just uneducated. Um the way that you have yours is like I forgot the way you have it on your backdrop, but it's like pro-choice. Um, I don't know. Can you say how you usually have it on your?
Well, it just says pro-choice now. It used to say pro-choice all 9 months.
Okay, yeah.
Same stance. It just took the all 9 months off.
Okay, yeah. And then whenever like I read that, I wanted to think, oh, Javon wants to unalive babies up to like the 7th or 8th month, you know, because that's just what I've been inbred to think that um, pro-choice means, right?
I just listen. I'm happy that you've reconciled and like changed your viewpoints a little bit, but like the problem is like there are so many people like you. I mean, one of the most trending things after Trump won was, "Can I change my vote?" Like so many people are fucked, like just truly fucked.
Well, I think, you know, now all I can really do is just hope that it, you know, isn't a disaster. You know, he hasn't got into office yet. You know,
It
but
already has been. He tried to put somebody as the Attorney General of the United States who slept with a 17-year-old child.
Chat, is
Who-
my
who is
Twitch
that?
channel not working?
is that Matt Gates?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know too much about it. I feel like he was very fast to like appoint his cabinet.
Not really. He did it in normal time frame. Usually, you
Well,
already have your cabinet picks ready to go. Like you figure that out before you're even elected. But it's just the problem that he tried to put in somebody who not only used his money from the government to buy drugs and women of the night, but slept with a 17-year-old.
Yeah, that's not true.
yeah, I didn't know that. I knew that like he had some like past allegations and stuff, but I didn't know that he actually did any of that.
Pickles, you forget how to work Twitch?
Um,
I'm on it.
so like what
Pickles is
like
50
what
years
would
old,
you
confirmed.
so like what would you advise like um people who voted for Trump to do now?
Doomsday prep. Everything's about to get way more expensive. His tariffs are about to shoot inflation up through the roof. If you want to buy any type of electronic, you have 4 more days, because after the 20th, China is going to refuse to sell us some of the most essential material that we use in electronic manufacturing. They will not sell them to us anymore. So buy that now, because it's going to be super expensive.
I just bought a computer a couple months ago.
Your cars are about to get more expensive. Insurance is about to get more expensive. Everything's going up.
Okay, how can he change that?
We can't for 4 years.
So he can't do anything?
The only possible thing that we have is that so many world leaders are going to cut the US off from very important things, like China cutting us off from like galenium and like a couple other minerals, really going to impact Canada cutting us off from oil and power, really going to impact. If enough countries do this, Congress will be forced to impeach his ass, because he'll just tank our economy so hard. That's a big if. Right now, there really is nothing the average citizen can do until 4 years from now. There's unfortunately nothing.
Yeah, what's the Democratic Party look like now, though? I mean, do they even exist? Like, I know they do, but like, what's going on? Like, as far
The
as
Democrats are leaning more right.
oh, really? So there is no like. I know it's 4 years from now, so it's hard to tell, but
What the Democrats
we
took
still
from
kind of had an idea 4 years ago who was going to run this year, except for the Democratic side, obviously, because that was kind of like a last minute thing. Like, we knew Biden was probably going to run again, which he did.
What the Democrats took from 2024 is that the United States wants a more center to right leaning candidate, which is the opposite of what they should have taken from it. And there's already been internal talks in the DNC that they are going to be moving more right.
So, like, maybe to like the independent, right?
No, they're moving more right.
Oh, so they're just going to be like right versus right.
I mean, in most instances, it is. The United States left is like every other country's right.
Yeah, I can see that.
So everybody in chat is talking about midterms. I don't have super high confidence for midterms because now that Trump is in office, I think we're going to find it really hard to have free and fair elections moving forward. I think we're going to find it real hard to vote in people that aren't MAGA loyalists.
Yeah, or being challenged by Musk.
Yeah.
I got you. So how do you feel about like we agree on the immigration thing, right? So I can agree with you on that. We talked a little bit about, other countries screwing us over. You just don't think that's like enough of like a viable point to.
The problem is the people that need to impeach him are his loyalists. That's the whole point of this last election cycle. He kicked out all of the people that actually stood up to him last time. He got them all out, at least the ones on his side. And he put in, this is the whole point of Project 2025, is they were going to instill Trump loyalists in every sector of the U.S. government, from local U.S. government to state government to federal government. And they did do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, good night, good
Sorry.
good evening, everybody. I'm about to go to bed. I'm like, good night. Good to see you, Pickles.
Good to see you.
Oh my gosh. It's been a minute. So there's currently, I think, going to be 119 elections just in 2025. Pay attention to your local elections, because we still can get some Democrats, because people who he is nominating for the cabinet, they have to fill those seats. Some of those are automatically going to be Republicans. There may be some Republicans that are not MAGA that you possibly could vote for. So
Yeah.
pay attention to your local. So there's 119 elections currently in 2025. And then 2026. Yeah, it may be tough for 2026, but I mean, we just got to get out there and push for 2026. But I think we're going to be so fucked people by 2026. I think people are going to want change. I have a different outlook on it than Pickles and Javon. I think we can do it because people are going to be hurting so bad, they're going to want something different.
Right. Like, I think what I've just realized now, and I'll drop down after this host. But I think what I realize now is, like, instead of just going to the voting booth and just voting red down the ballot without looking at the names, just having that instilled behavior to vote red down the ballot or vote blue down the ballot.
Well, right now, all you got to do is, we can only vote blue down ballot right now. Yes, there's one woman, I believe in Florida, that switched after she, there's a couple of flip-floppers that'll do that, but majority right now is blue all down ballot. All down. That's why in New York, they talked to AOC because they split it. They voted for Trump and then they voted blue all down ballot.
Yeah, well, there are good Republican candidates that, just like you said, aren't MAGA.
Not right now, there aren't. Right now, they're all Trump loyalists. That's if you're going to vote red, you're going to have to look at
No,
every
no,
candidate.
I'm not. I'm saying that like they exist. They're out there. They're just not
Yeah,
like their voice isn't being heard.
correct, correct.
And I think that like a good mission for the Republican Party would be to basically like reinstill those that we had. You know, like reinstill those older ones. And I guess just like let their voice be heard and let them know that MAGA is not the Republican Party, and you know it will never
Well, they
be.
tried. I mean, they tried. Liz Cheney came out. The Cheneys came out. I mean, the actual Republicans that are not MAGA. I mean, they tried. They
Like
came
Tulsi
out.
Gabbard was really good, but I think she just got sold at the end
But
of the
she
day.
became a Trump loyalist. This
Yeah,
is the problem.
I think
Is
she got
the
bought. To be honest,
Trump's whole and there's a and Story's right. Like Story's definitely not as gloom and doom as I am. But the reason I'm gloom and doom is because I have never seen since 1940 someone lift their whole election plan straight off the desk of the mustache man and everyone fall for it. This
Yeah.
is why I'm a little gloom and doom, because it's like beat for beat. It's actually kind of crazy how when you and it makes sense because as we know from internal documents, Trump would sit with a copy of Mein Kampf next to his bed at night.
yeah, I think Tulsi Gabbard just got bought. To be honest, I don't think she actually is.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Your wife or girlfriend was pregnant, and you said your daughter is a couple months old. So your wife was pregnant during the election, and you still voted against her rights?
Well,
And
just like I said before, I'm not. I wasn't specifically voting for rights. I'm voting for that, and she's 3 weeks. So yeah. So like she was born after the election, but prior to me voting. Yeah.
you're in a red state, and you voted against your wife's rights in a red state. Help me make that make sense. Now, I'm not even talking about abortion. I'm talking about like, I had to have I had to have an ovary removed. I had to have a fallopian tube removed right after Thanksgiving. If I was in a red state, there's OBGYNs that in red states that won't even do that surgery. Okay, we got you. They won't even do
Everybody act up right now. Story, act up right now.
you guys will have to go to another state if she needs to have that same procedure that I had to have. So it's not even about abortion. That's what infuriates me when with people that oh god that have wives and sisters and stuff. It's like you guys are not understanding. Fuck abortions. It's just healthcare. Those OBGYNs are leaving states. So now women are having to go just to have procedures, medical procedures.
What was the procedure they have to leave for?
So the procedure that I just had in November, I had to have an ovary and a fallopian tube removed. But because OBGYNs are leaving states, you said you're in a red state. Those OBGYNs are leaving. So if your wife needed an
So wait,
emergency,
so you couldn't have it done because the OBGYNs are leaving?
correct. That's
So
a
there's
procedure.
like lack thereof
Yeah,
OBGYNs in your area?
healthcare deserts. A lot of OBGYNs are fleeing red states to the tune of like 20%. So people have to drive extra far. It costs extra money. They're limited in their scope of healthcare they can offer. They're scared to death to do things that could get them in legal trouble. It's just not. It's not a good environment. And then the economy's suffering. People don't want to work. They're scared of being and remaining pregnant, so they're just getting very preemptive abortions. Like it. People are getting vasectomized because they don't want to have their significant other go through that.
The worst thing you can do to prevent abortions is to criminalize them, make them illegal, and then make everybody more poor.
And so the students they have less enrollment rate for people going into that field, and the students that are currently in the field, they're having them practice the procedure on watermelons, on fruit. I don't want an OBGYN coming to me talking, oh, let's do this surgery. What's your practice? Oh, I practice on a banana. The hell? No. I want somebody that actually has practiced the procedure on a cadaver, on whomever, however they practice it, but not on a damn piece of fruit. So voting, that's why, and I understand, yes, Kamala's message, was about reproductive rights because it is that serious. But yes, they should have changed it and focused on the economy and other things. I do fault them for that, but
Yeah.
it's that serious. It is that serious.
Yeah. I mean, looking back, I see why. Kind of like just going off what you said, I do see why she lost, and I think it was more from, which I think they've already said this. I think that
No, she lost
Democrats
because of
have already said.
racism. No, she lost because of racism and misogyny. Our society is not ready for a woman, and our society is not ready for a black woman. I'm gonna say it with my whole chest. That's why she
Well,
lost. Let's talk about it.
well,
That's why.
I think it was the way that think it was the way that they structured her. I mean, her entire campaign, just like you said, she ran basically off of women's rights and not anything else. Like you can't base an entire campaign off of that. Even though you said that's very important, you can't base your entire campaign off of that, or you're not going to reach the right kind of people.
If it was a white man saying the same stuff that she said, he would have won. Period. Hands down. Hands down.
I don't. I
But
think
instead, Hillary tried it, so we know that society's not ready for a woman, and then a black woman to try to do it. Come on now, be real. You got to be honest. We live in a racist society. This is what we do.
I mean, Obama won. He's black.
And that's why we got Trump, because a black man won not once but twice. When he won, they said we're going to make him a one-term president. I don't know how old you were. I'm 48. But when he won, they sat down and went at a restaurant and had a meeting, and then he won twice. That is how we got Trump, because a black man won twice. Oh yeah. Lindsey Graham, and McConnell, they had dinner that night. You could probably pull it up on YouTube, and they were in the restaurant, and they said we will make him a one-term president. That's why they blocked a lot of stuff that Biden did, because Biden was Obama's vice president. They were saying that Biden basically was Obama 2.0.
Well, I mean, no, I would have voted for. There was a black guy that I liked a lot, Ben Carson. If he would have ran again,
No.
I would have voted for him.
No, that brain surgery. No, no. You guys want to sit up here and pick people that's gonna bootlick and kick. I'm gonna be I'm gonna keep it said with my whole chest. Kiss white people ass. No, we need somebody that's gonna sit there and
Carson's a good guy, though. I've read his book. Like he's not any different. He was wealthy. Like fuck the presidency money for him. Like he's wealthy. He doesn't need any money.
Ben Carson is an ass kisser. We want somebody like Kamala that's going to stand up, say what they got to say, hold the Constitution. It doesn't matter about what ethnicity you are. She didn't care about that. She cared about the law. She cared about the Constitution. I want someone that's going to stand up to the Constitution. No. Ben Carson, no. He's a joke.
I don't know how.
Chat, if you want to debate, hop in the box. Ember, are you a debate? I do want to get on to a
Yeah. Sorry for taking a little bit too long, but it's good talking with you.
You too, man.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming out, Bilbosa.
Yeah, appreciate you. I dropped you a follow.
All right, appreciate you.
Oh, cool.
Bye, Story.
Bye. Nice talking to you.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
All right, go ahead, guys. Let's go ahead and tap. Let's get Pickles to 100K. Let's get him on the FYP so we can get him some debates in here. Let's get the shares up to 200. If you like Pickles, follow him. Join our Discord. Also, he's on, what's the other app? Social, you just favorite it or something?
We're on Favorited and Red Note, Twitch, and YouTube.
Go ahead and give him a follow on those also. He goes live on those channels. Let's tap. Let's get some Trump supporters in here. All right, I'll talk to you later.
Thank you, Story. W Story's in the chat. We love Story. What's up, Ember? Are you a Trump supporter? Ember? Yellow. Chat, if you're a Trump supporter and you want to debate, hop in the box. My Redno, all of my socials are the same exact tag, @PicklesGGS. We did have some opposition in the box, but we waited too long, chat. I apologize. Guys, if you're not opposition, please don't come into the box. I do want to focus on some 1v1s for the most of the night. What's my red note? Yeah, it's at same thing, Gregory. Same thing. Pickles GGS.
All right, look, I don't really want to get into the political stuff. I want to debate who is the greatest artist of all time, and I'll tell you why they wrong. Why you're wrong.
The greatest artist of all time?
Mm-hmm.
Please don't say Hitler.
Whoa, that was crazy. No,
Who?
I meant like music.
Oh. Between the Buried and Me.
Who?
BT Bam.
Who?
Yeah. It's heavy metal. It's not for everybody.
Oh, okay, all right, you gotta go. You
Oh, damn. Yellow? Mike said great answer, W. John, are you there?
Yeah, hey, could you hear me?
Yo, are you a Trump supporter?
Um,
I'm sorry?
no, I'm not. I'm sorry.
All right, I'll give you 30 seconds, bro.
Wanted to know what your take on the Hegseth situation is because it looks like he's for
oh,
sure going to get confirmed.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
travesty, dude. It's horrible.
I do you think they're going to actually be able to do stuff now? Do you think he's actually going to be pushing for like sphere of influence the way that it seems like Russia wants him to, where he actually does try doing things like conquering territory? Or do you think that Hegseth is going to be too stupid to actually get anything done?
I think he's just gonna be a yes man. I don't know. I don't want to speculate too hard on in doom and gloom, but I think Hegseth is zero morals, zero spine. He's just a fucking yapping rapist, alcoholic.
Yeah, right. And those are all features. Those are not bugs. Those are all, I
Yeah,
mean, that's the point. Yeah. All right. Thanks, man.
appreciate you, bro. What's up, Deca?
So I don't have a lot of time. I just want to ask a quick question. I am a Trump supporter, but I want to see where the mind is at on one topic, and then I'll head out so I don't waste all your time.
Okay.
Who do you think Trump played a major influence in the ceasefire that happened today?
No.
Why?
I don't think a tweet does more than Biden's team doing negotiations for months.
Is in like Netanyahu and the Israel Times, nothing, like no credit towards Trump at all. Nothing. Like the most pro-Palestine creator on TikTok, my favorite, I think his name is My Favorite Guy, gave credit to he played no role. His envy didn't play a role when they were negotiating, and like Netanyahu said, Trump's negotiations helped a lot in the
I already
ceasefire.
knew that Trump was going to try to take credit for it when he posted something about this in October, threatening people with a tweet. I don't think it does anything more than what's happening with Biden working around the clock with his team for months and months and months, actually talking about the conditions of a ceasefire, the conditions in which the other side would release hostages. I don't see Trump, unless you know something I don't, besides having, Bibi Netanyahu at Mar-a-Lago to talk about authoritarian shit. I don't think.
Oh no, yeah, I agree that the terms that were agreed to were negotiated by Biden, and correct me if I'm wrong, in May of 2023, right? Or was it?
I think they made a few attempts, but I believe this last attempt was what did it.
Okay, but like Biden's own State Department gives quote, when it comes to the involvement of President-elect Trump's team, it has been absolutely critical in getting this deal over the line. And still quoting, and we thank the Trump team for working with this on the ceasefire agreement. We think it's important that they were at the table. And then I will read you a tweet directly from Netanyahu giving Trump credit for.
Yeah.
Do you trust Netanyahu?
No.
You don't think he had to agree to the ceasefire as well as Hamas?
I think that Netanyahu's playing politics. He has a lot of money tied up in our politics. He has a lot of things riding on Trump's win. He has a lot of reasons to be very favorable to Trump, especially on his way in. He gets a lot of money from us, so yeah, he's gonna kiss everyone's ass that he can. He's also a proven like war criminal, horrible, disgusting human being. So I really don't give a fuck what he says. It most likely isn't true.
And the State Department.
I don't know. I could read that over again or something, but I honestly I don't care to give Trump any sort of ounce of credit for a problem he made worse. So like he did things that caused tensions in the Middle East, especially between Palestine and Israel, moving the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem on the day like a holy day, and then fucking negotiating Abraham Accords and not involving the Palestinian government. All of these things could be definitely seen as acts of aggression.
Why
And
do all the pro Palace? I don't know how you would categorize these people, because I think everyone feels bad for the Palestinian people, but I'm talking about like the people that are like really. Do you know the guy, my favorite guy on TikTok, that's like 3 million followers? He's like the most pro Palestine creator as of right now. Do you know what I'm
I
talking
probably
about?
know who you're talking about. Goes live and debates people
Yeah, he has
from
like
Israel.
no, he has like a monkey on his profile with an M with the Palestine flag on it.
Probably I don't know. Probably not.
Whatever, but they like. Why do they all criticize Biden so much?
Because when your people are being G-sided, you go crazy. You say things. You be as loud as possible. Everybody on the left is criticized Biden and Harris for not doing things that were probably mostly out of their control, or taking a somewhat neutral stance to play politics because there's an election. Like a lot of Americans, I think it's like 50% of Americans are Christian, and Israel is the Holy Land. So people have to be very careful about how they say things and how they poise themselves in these situations.
All right, well, that's all I had. Thank you for having me up, man.
All right, no problem. Chat, if you're a Trump supporter and you want to debate, hop in the box. Yeah, there are people who have criticized everything. They criticized the fires. They everything. They politicized absolutely everything. Every chance that Trump has got, Trump has been standing behind Biden's shoulder going, I wouldn't have done this. I would have done better. This wouldn't have happened if I were here. And it's disgusting. I think it's gross. It's childish. Yeah, I don't know. I really feel that it's like the same. It's the same. It's giving like the guy from yesterday. Like Trump loves this country more than anybody. What does that mean? What? The guy that said he would dismantle the Constitution because he feels that the election was lost? That guy? The guy that doesn't give a flying fuck about our founding documents? He doesn't love America. He loves himself. Yeah, Trump's the savior. Trump's the chosen one. Like all the like selling Bibles. The fact that like that wasn't a weird deal breaker to. I mean, the fact that so many things weren't deal breakers is crazy. But like that they can't see past it. They're so mystified by Trump claiming he's a patriot and a Christian. And so like anything he does that can be definitely seen as not Christian, the way they handle that is like, well, we're Christian, we forgive. There's no criticism to be had for people who run their campaigns like that. You young guys never join the military and just slander the president. The old kids respected. Yeah, he said in a speech, I love you, Christians. I'm not a Christian. I don't think I have to serve my country to have criticisms of our president. Trump fucking dodged the draft 5 times. I don't think any patriot should look at Trump and be like, that's my guy. What a puss, dude. Trump slanders the military, exactly. Went around politicizing 13 soldiers' deaths when it was pretty much his fault. Disgusting. Not a single MAGA knows of any of the deaths that happened under Trump, which were 5 times more. Disgusting, dude. My brother's a Marine. It wasn't on Trump. Come tell me how it wasn't on Trump. It was all on Trump. What's up, Dean?
Hey, how you doing? Just a quick hello.
What's up?
And did you happen to watch Miss Pam today?
Pam Bondi?
Oh yeah. Oh my God, she didn't answer any questions from the Democrats.
I know. Some scary ones
Wow.
too, like some easy questions. Hey, if the president was if there was evidence that the president was committing crimes, would you follow the facts? And she'd be like, I can't answer that. That's a hypothetical. Like,
Yeah, hypothetical.
hello?
Or oh my God, it was terrible, and she has no business being where she is right now. She might have been a governor for 8 years and defendant and prosecutor and all this other stuff, but she's definitely not qualified for what she's going for. The attorney
Yeah,
general.
I agree.
It's sad. It's sad. Okay, well, I'm sure other people want to come up too, but I saw you on. I just want to say good night and have a great day.
You
A
too.
great tomorrow.
You too, man.
I
Thank
love
you.
talking to you.
Me too, dude.
Okay, my friend.
I always enjoy.
I always look.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I always enjoy having you up.
Well, thank you. I know I'm not a good debater because I don't have the vocabulary, but anyway, I'm an old guy. I'm almost 72. Vietnam vet, and we talked about that already. But anyway, see you tomorrow night.
All right. Take it easy, Dean.
Take care, my friend.
Will do.
Always a pleasure. Yeah.
Common Dean W. Of course. Yeah. Did Trump lose the 2020 election? She wouldn't say anything. Did you ever find evidence of election fraud in Pennsylvania? She's like, I went to Pennsylvania. No, did you ever find election fraud? I was in Pennsylvania. Like, she wouldn't answer. You know, who would you like to see run for president? Pete Buttigieg, Gavin Newsom, AOC in maybe like 10 years, 5 years. Yeah. Pete Buttigieg. Pete Buttigieg, oh man. He'd be awesome. He'd be have you all seen any of Pete Buttigieg's like old videos in like in his like early 20s, maybe even younger than that? He's so fucking smart even then. He's so crazy. Crazy smart. Yeah, homophobia is still rampant. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. When he went to Harvard and asked questions, yeah. Hakeem Jeffries, bro. Yes. Hakeem Jeffries. Yes. Explain the gift goal. Oh, chat. So, my gift goal, I'm going to pin it again. Guys, I'm quitting nicotine. I have a nicotine in my mouth right now. I want to quit. And if you guys help me hit my gift goal, I'll quit. It's 50 dragons. It's a lot. I don't want to quit, but I want to quit. And I need some sort of accountability. So like if we hit this gift goal and I quit and then if I go back on it, I would have guilt and shame. I would feel like I wronged y'all. I feel like that's going to be my mechanism to stop. And Josh is quitting vaping with me, chat. Yeah, I hit a low last night. I had like 2 or 3 snuffs in. Well, 2. And I almost puked. And I didn't say anything, but I was alive. But I almost puked. Beto O'Rourke. Beto's dope. I like Beto, but he's too easily slandered. He's too easily slandered. Chat, we went to the gym tonight. Worked out back and biceps. Worked hard for you. Pritzker. Jeffries, dude, I think Jeffries might be the next one. I think Jeffries is front runner. I always forget about Jeffries. Chat, we lost our traction in the algo. Can we get some more likes on the screen? Can we get some shares? Can we fill this up real quick? So we can get some guests. We're also 4 subs away from 700. We're losing subs slowly. We've had a week ban. We're dipping down a little bit. And if you guys are wondering, that's the best way to support me, other than Cash App, Venmo. If I'm able to say, hey, I've got this amount of subs, I got bills paid at the end of next month, it feels a lot better than having to grind it out every day. What's up, Trav? Damn, guys, thanks for the shares. Holy moly. Chad, if you want to debate, hop in the box. If you're a Trump supporter, come tell me why you like Trump. I would love to see Kamala in office, to be honest, but just didn't have enough time. Do I think she might run in 2028? I don't know. She said something about running possibly for governor of California. Should be dope. Is that what she was saying? Is it governor? Or like mayor or somewhere? Almost working at 7-Eleven now. With a Juris Doctorate. Former vice president. You're kidding me, right? Yellow?
Hey, Pickles.
Hi there.
Hey. Hey, I just wanted to come on here. I didn't know if you guys heard, but Biden is going to write an executive order to extend TikTok for 90 days. It's supposed to come out tomorrow. I thought you might like to hear that.
I love that.
I
love
figured
that.
you would. I thought so.
I was hoping he would do it like on a Friday, so Supreme Court doesn't come, so they can't do
They
anything.
said, yeah, they said the Supreme Court's not going to answer by the end of the week. So I got the information from a gal that does, it's called Under the Desk. She does a lot of,
I love her.
yeah, and I follow her, and she came out, and it was posted on NBC, I think, and she was like there or something. I'm not real sure, but yeah. So I thought you guys might like to know that. So,
I honestly, I can't get my hopes up. I'm gonna wait till tomorrow. I'm just keeping all my fingers, toes crossed, and oof, you guys don't know how much I
yeah,
need this. I need this.
it looks like it's going to be, it looks like it might go through. So I just thought you should hear that. And I'm a friendly, of course, and
Yeah.
I love watching your debate. You're very talented. So
Thank you.
I'm hoping it does. We don't lose it, but you can always go to YouTube. There are people that do live debates on there.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I watched a guy, and it actually, I subscribed, and you can actually do just like you do here. And it wasn't too bad. So there's always that to look into. But
Awesome.
so I don't know if that would work for you. But anyways, I just wanted to tell you that tonight. I thought it might cheer you up a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you
So,
so much. Thank you.
yep. See you later, Pickles. Bye.
Alrighty. I am, for those who don't know, I am streaming on YouTube right now. And we got like 8 viewers. Like 8 viewers right now, which is good. What are we at, YouTube? I never know where to look at the viewer count. 8 watching. Look at that. 8 viewers. If Trump runs against for a third term, make him go against Obama. Oh, I love that. I love that. Eight too many. Dude, user 331. What's going on, bro? What's going on with you? Trump should be our king? Yikes. Scary. That's scary. I've had a young man come up here before and tell me the same thing.
Fuck you, bro. You're a piece of shit. Ass nigger ass piece of shit. You wear a fucking hat. I'm gonna hit you with a baseball bat. You look so fat. You look like a motherfucking monkey. Why did I get around you? Why the hell are we taking a motherfucking ride? Shut your ugly ass up. Wait, you're so damn dumb. You made your mom come. Don't you unmute me, Sally. Hello, is Sally Smart in the air? Did you put your junk in the air? Did you shoot her with a flare?
How you doing, man?
What's up, bro? Are you a Trump supporter?
Yeah, I'm a Trump supporter. God Emperor Trump.
What do you like? What do you like about Trump?
I like the fact that he pisses off the right people.
What do you like that he's going to be doing in this next 4 years?
Pissing off the right people, mainly. No, well, look. Here's the thing. If you want a rational answer, I think he's going to try to operate like Argentina is operating, because they went full libertarian. They elected a libertarian president who's slashing the budget and living within their means. And that's the most pragmatic reason why I voted for Donald Trump, because Bidenomics of giving money to your allies does not work. It never has. The media won't say it doesn't work,
And I just want us to live within our means. That's all.
Do you think money to allies was a big portion of our expenditures?
Yes,
Do you know it was like 0.5% of our budget?
doesn't matter. I don't think we should be spending that much money on social programs just so they could get Democrat votes.
You know, most of the social programs actually help red states more than blue.
Yeah, yeah. You mean red states like New York so they could pay $400 million for illegal immigrants, Chicago so they could give $350 million, and Denver so they could give another $350 million to illegal immigrants, right? That's red
That's
states.
yeah, and they collected $97 billion. So we're good, right?
I don't yeah, I don't believe in Democrat numbers. I'd rather be drugged out into the street and shot in front of my kids than ever believe a Democrat.
Well, I would say you're radicalized.
Maybe so. Other than that, go Commanders.
Yellow.
Hey, what's up?
What's up? Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, I am. I see your sticker thing there says Trump sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask why?
Yeah, I don't like any of his economic policy. I don't like his geopolitical policies. I don't like his tax policy. They're all skewed to the ultra wealthy. I think he's building an oligarchy. He's got 15 billionaires appointed to his administration. Most of them completely
Nigga,
unqualified.
kill yourself, nigga, slut, cotton ass bitch, nigga, go kill yourself. Nigga. Bitch, cunt, nigga, go kill yourself. Go kill yourself, nigga.
This is
So,
awkward.
anyways, what do you not like about Trump? Would you eat his booty?
They're not sending their best chat. Yellow.
¿Cómo estás?
Bien, bien. ¿Y tú?
I no habla español for real. So Pickles, I'll keep this pretty brief, man. Been watching you for a while. Not a Trump supporter. I'm not really a big fan of the Democrats either. I just want to get your thoughts on moving forward. How do you see things like? I guess the thing that really turned me off to like the Democrats was the whole Bernie campaign situation where they gave the nomination to Hillary. So I'm just curious as to how you see the reshaping of the Democratic Party, because I feel like it's, the same evil of the same bird, two wings of the same evil bird.
I don't really think that's what I would say is if you just look at the legislation that we passed in the last 4 years, it's absurd to me to think it's like two birds of the same wing. So, or whatever, two wings of the same bird. You would say like Biden stole the election to pass veteran healthcare and infrastructure, like, and chips and science and Inflation Reduction Act, like all these alternative fuel investments to make gas prices cheaper, to make electric cars more viable. Like these aren't big, ominous, horrible things. These are all pretty good. In fact, I like them a lot, all of these big things that they've done. And when you look at the big things Trump and the right are pushing, it's insane stuff. Eliminating the IRS, insane tariffs, trying to take over neighboring countries, buying Greenland, the Panama Canal. All these things no one's asking for. No one
Right.
no one wants any. We can go 4 whole years without any of that. We want to work on gas and grocery prices like he promised.
Right. And I'm part of like the I'm an IBEW union member, so like I'm part of the telecom industry, and I'm in Alaska, so a lot of people are, very, very hardcore Trump conservative, just calling us libtards and whatnot, and it's just like, okay, whatever. And I definitely hear what you're saying. Yeah, Biden's done a lot. And I definitely see like both parties operating by like a different set of morals and like standards. I guess what I'm really getting at is like, the DNC still is like doing things internally that, aren't always the most positive for the party. And I've been unaffiliated since I've been here in Alaska since like 2015. And I've voted for I wrote in Bernie Sanders, or no, actually I voted for Jill Stein that election. I voted third party for that, and then I didn't end up voting for Biden and Democrat all the way down the line. But it's just yeah, it's crazy how like this whole situation's going.
Yeah, I always hear people talk about the Bernie situation. It was so long ago. And we have much bigger fish to fry, in my opinion. Like, we need to get a candidate that just wins. I don't even give a fuck if it's a cat or three cats in a suit, and they support women's rights. I'm all about it. I don't care at this point. Like, we are so far right now that anyone with a D next to their name that has like an ounce of blue in their fucking logo, I'm voting for it, because we need to push the needle in the other direction. I don't think it's time to be picky. We need to be pragmatic. We need to figure out how we might even have free and fair elections after this. I don't think it's going to be 100% guaranteed.
Right. And like you're aware like the whole gerrymandering and thing and everything with like the black people being not allowed, or people of color not allowed to vote, um and just these whole forces from the other side that always just move things to their benefit, to where it's like, hey, it's kind of like a shoe in at this point. I'm fully like supportive of what you're saying. Yeah, anybody who will make things more progressive, easier for everybody. And yeah, it's just so fragmented right now, that like how do you like what you're doing here on this platform, is great. Like I love to see people debate and prove their points. And I think there's a necessary like openness that every individual should have, as far as like, hey, let me try and see your point of view. And I see so many people that you debate, like, that just are just committed to the one topic that they're on, or the one idea that they're on, that they can't even see the other ideas that you're trying to present.
Yeah.
So like, I guess for your average guy, or your average follower or person watching you, like, what, you obviously can't give us like a handbook or a guide on how to be a better human, or how to have these conversations with like coworkers or people you're around, or family that may see things in a total other perspective. But I guess what kind of advice would you give to all of us that follow you, as to what we can do locally, as far as like, our local politicians, state politicians, uh, things like that, of that nature, to kind of do what you said, moving the needle in the other direction.
Yeah. Um, there's a good website out there. It's called bluevoterguide.org, and they help you like in these next midterms. I think it's important to weed out anybody who might be posing as a Democrat or, someone who Elon tries to get to run. I think we need to be careful and aware of their issues. I think if you're trying to talk to people in your life, I don't think you're ever going there's no silver bullet, but you can always try to be as graceful as possible. That's what I always try to do, and I think that's why people maybe like watching, because our conversations go a little bit further, or they're a little more meaningful when you don't get crazy. And I don't know. It's a touchy subject with friends and family, so I don't know. All of my parents, all of my siblings are all MAGA. So if I knew, I would be doing that.
Right. Yeah, and it's just crazy because like I have like a mixed family. My son's autistic, and like everybody has their issues in life, whatnot. I'm not trying to take away from the message you're trying to push out. I guess what I'm just trying to get at is like, what can we do better? Um, how can we strategize? How can we open up the dialogue and really create like a better pathway forward um, with just doing things better. And like I have like IBW meetings too and shit like that. But again, you're dealing with a bunch of rednecks here in Alaska uh, that are all about their guns. Uh, have like the Confederate flags and all that on their big diesel pickups and whatnot. And I get shit for driving a little hybrid, car or whatever. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. But
Well, I don't want to. I've got a few more people in the box. I want to get to some actual debates, but I don't know. I don't have a good. We do have a Discord community, and we do have people organizing for the midterms. We have teams that are like responsible for certain regions of the country. If you really want to get involved, that would be my first advice. Like if you want to just find something like that, or join my Discord and partake. But yeah,
for sure.
I'm very new to this. I just started learning politics like 2 years ago. This was my first election ever, of any kind, voting. So I'm out here faking it till I make it, to be honest.
Yeah, I got you, bro. And I see people hitting up in the comments like, yeah, Alaska's big, gotta do this, do that, this MAGA only, like in the comment or whatever. So I won't keep too much more of your time. I just want to say like I appreciate it, and like how could we do better? And I fully support what you're doing. I think those are definitely steps that are necessary, and just broadcasting that and getting that out there for these people to see like, hey, there are other perspectives and other ways to look at this than just being like your grandparents who were racist and hated everybody and grew up different. So
yeah. Well, dude, thanks for hanging out, and thanks for the kind words. I appreciate you.
You're great, man. And then as far as like the Discord, I can follow you there. And then you said the other thing was the did you say Vote Blue or the Blue Guide or something?
Bluevoterguide.org.
Bluevoterguide.org. Okay, I got you, brother. Hey,
right.
I appreciate the time.
No problem, dude.
All right, stay up, man.
Thank you. What's up, Billy?
What's happening?
Not much. You're a Trump supporter?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Thank you guys for the dragons chat. I'm trying to quit nicotine tonight. If you guys hit 50 dragons, I'm quitting nicotine. Shakes and all. What do you like about Trump?
Well, I've kind of more about what you were just saying about. Well, I live in California, and my opinion, California has a real chance of flipping red in the not so far future.
Yeah.
There's some things unfolding right now that it doesn't even seem like it could be true, but it is absolutely true, and a lot of it involves Karen Bass, and a lot of it, of course, is also Gavin Newsom. But there's some really things with this fire that are going to expose a lot of things that a lot of people didn't even realize. One of them is, I don't know if you're familiar what happened in 1983 at the Capitol. Right? Do you know what happened in 1983 at the Capitol? So a group known as M19, they were a Colombian Marxist group, guerrilla group, and they actually blew up the north side of the Capitol. Happened. It happened, and they said they were fighting imperialism. And Karen Bass at that same time was making a lot of trips to Cuba, and they had this where they would go there, and they had this. She was part. I think it was called like the Vencermos. I think it's the Vencermos Brigade. It's a group that they have annual trips where they send young leftist Americans to kind of get radicalized in Marxism, and she was part of that group. And also the M19 was also there, and this is all stuff you can go look at. I know it sounds crazy, but it's real. But the M19 guerrilla group from Colombia also trained in Cuba, and they were trained in like guerrilla warfare, sabotage, and bomb making. I'm going somewhere with this. So, and I don't know if you saw, but Karen Bass also said that she went to Cuba a lot as a young kid because she was an activist, and she was she was an activist for what people are calling racism right now, right? Systemic racism. And I don't know if you know. Do you know who Brian Williams is? Do you know who that is? Okay. So Brian Williams, this is a crazy story, was appointed by Karen Bass in the end of 2023. And he was a deputy mayor for public safety. Okay. He oversaw the LAPD and the Los Angeles Fire Department. That's what he did. Okay. He was placed on administrative leave last month because the FBI raided his home, and they found out that there was a bomb threat made to City Hall in early 2024, and they went there because he's the one that made the call. He called in a bomb threat. He was the head of public safety, and oversaw the New York Fire Department and the LAPD. I'm sorry, not the New York Fire, the LA Fire Department and the LAPD. He oversaw that. He was the mayor of public safety. And he called in the bomb threat to his own city hall. And he was appointed by Karen Bass. It sounds crazy. It's all there. You can go look at it. And then the crazy thing is, too, I don't know if you saw yesterday, Biden moved to lift the state of how Cuba was designated as a sponsor of terrorism and stuff. Biden removed that yesterday. So there's a lot of crazy things happening in California right now that people can go look this up. I know this sounds like you're wearing a tinfoil hat. No, this is all there. This isn't even me like tinfoil. This is actually the real deal. And it is crazy that Karen Bass was in Africa when all this stuff took off in California. And I think you're going to find that this is going to open the doors to a lot of stuff that it seems crazy. It seems like, oh yeah, right, you're just making things up. No, it's actually real. Anybody can verify what I'm going looking at.
This is what I'd say. We have people politicizing literally everything about that fire. Mm-hmm. And a lot of it's already been proven not true, such as she was back in town 24 hours after it started, trying to handle things. She had a pre-scheduled obligation in Africa, and that's why she was there. She didn't just ditch everybody. We had 80 mile an hour, 100 mile an hour winds, and then it makes it impossible for firefighters to fly planes or helicopters to go dump water on these things. It was just a disaster. And the thing is, this is not just a case for y'all. This is a case for us. Hey, climate change is real. Man-made climate change is real. Trump doesn't even think it's real. And if this is going to be a problem the whole country is looking at, we would probably go against someone like Trump if more of this happens. Not to mention, you're talking about domestic T groups or radicalizing people. Since 2017, right-wing domestic terrorism has skyrocketed 4,000%. This is an article from the Anti-Defamation League. It says that the years right before President took office, we had 7 right-wing domestic terrorist incidents. And the second he touched a microphone, it spiked to 27 and then to 40 because he's saying things like Obama's Kenyan, or, migrants are rapists and killers, or, they have bad genes. They're not bringing their best. They're poisoning their country. These are things that we see on our side. When you just see an inkling from 1980s of us trying to tell people that Marxism is a thing, I don't think it's necessarily a doctrine, right? Like Christianity being pushed in schools. I think that's more disgusting than anything, because we're talking about things that absolutely cannot be proven, things that are against science. And we have all of the same stuff on your side. You have Yahtzees, We have extremists. We have people actually doing violent things against abortion clinics, and all that stuff. The top 15 most violent domestic terrorist groups the FBI has identified, all right wing. The first instance of left wing domestic terrorism is 15th place, and it's
Yeah,
something like they're freeing animals.
well, Biden said that, right? Biden said that white supremacy was the biggest threat to the, he actually said, go look it up, right? Look at the data. And then, but what he didn't tell the American people that he got that data from the prison system, right? And so, of course, the prison system was filled with a bunch of white racists, but he used that data to push that narrative. And you can go look that up, that he was using the prison systems as part of his data to push
Here's the data.
Right, he was using the prison systems.
This is the Anti-Defamation League.
Okay, I'm telling you though, when he showed the data, though, he was using the prison systems as part of that data. The Department of Justice.
All right, and I can go over dozens of accounts where Trump has done the same thing to push his rhetoric, saying 300,000 kids are missing because of Biden, and it turns out most of them are under Trump, and they're not even missing.
You said something about the fires being political, right? That people are political. So I actually covered. I did like a 40-minute documentary, and I won't push where I put it because I don't want to do that on your page. But I did do like a 40-minute documentary on it, and I actually went. And I will tell you, there is something that Trump's wrong on. And I am a conservative, but I'll tell you that he's not telling you the truth on something. I'll tell you what that is in a second. But I can tell you that one part of that documentary is me driving around the Palisades area, because I had full access to the whole area with the press pass. And I can tell you that the brush around that whole place, that is from the Sierra Club. And those people, right, they will not touch any of the land around that. And the reason why this whole thing is going on right now is because of groups like the Sierra Club that have a stronghold on the Democrat Party in California, and they will not let you touch any of the grounds. They think it's better to let nature take its course, and they don't want those homes up there. They want those things gone. If those people can't come back, the Sierra Club feels great because they want homes away from all that stuff. I mean, that's how crazy our state is right now. I want to tell you where Trump was wrong. I'll tell you this right now. So I went up there with an initial, because I have kind of more of a news page than you have, but I went up there to do a documentary, and I was under the assumption that they ran out of water, right? Because Trump was saying this place burned down because of the smelt fish. I mean, from that smelt, and they're not getting to the water. They ran out of water. So I was going there with the intention to say that, okay, I'm going to go here and expose that they ran out of water. But when I got there, that wasn't really the case. There was rivers of water flowing all over the place because water mains were broke in a 5-mile radius. I mean, your water was literally flowing. This is the next day, by the way. This is before the people have gotten in there. This is 3 days ago. Water was going down the streets from all of the broken water mains everywhere. There's parking structures that were completely flooded. They look like mini lakes. So they didn't run out of water. They ran out of pressure because the tanks couldn't fill up faster than they were withdrawing it. So you have broken water mains everywhere. You have people putting sprinklers on their properties and turning it on. And then you had 20 fire hydrants that were plugged up to the hydrants that were withdrawing the water faster than it could be replenished. Now, that's not saying that their infrastructure was right, but you can't fight a wildfire with hydrants. They were never meant to. So I will tell you that is something that I wish, because Trump is right on a lot of the things with California water. California water is corrupt to its core. If you look at there's a billionaire family that owned the Wonderful Company. They own 80% of the water in California, and it's crazy how they got it. And a lot of that water doesn't get funneled down to Los Angeles. Now that has nothing to do with what happened here, but so Trump is right that the water is totally corrupt in California, but he's not right that they ran out of water.
I don't know. I think this is kind of crazy to me. First of all, Beth, thank you so much for all the fucking dragon crowns. Jesus. And thank you guys. We're halfway to the goal for me to quit nicotine tonight, chat. Trump literally said, "Why should I help California? They didn't vote for me last time they were having wildfires." I think that's that's worse than anything I could think of. You're talking about billionaires being corrupt. Have you looked at Trump's administration? Do you think they're going to do things that are going to cost them money to maybe fund people to have water or better infrastructure? Trump is completely antithetical to that. He's lowering taxes for everybody. He's lowering federal program. They're gutting the federal government. So any sort of FEMA response we could have to this or anything like that, who knows? Republicans have always voted against it. 175 Republicans voted against the last time we tried to increase FEMA. So literally, these are all just things being politicized for half a second so that you guys hate Democrats for a little bit, and then they're going to go back to doing things that are twice as bad.
Yeah, but it's more than just the fire. This was going on before. Here's a good example. Gavin Newsom just gave us another 62-cent tax on our fuel. And to put that in perspective, California, the taxes that California puts on the people here is 3 times higher than the corporate profits from big oil. Think about that. Democrats in California tax us 3 times more than the oil. And then he'll turn around in our face and say that the oil companies are ripping you off. That's who Gavin Newsom is.
Now he's talked about why it has to be high, and the gas tax has to be high, and it's just because it's very hard to get to California. Like the pipeline kind of goes all the way away from California, running from north to south. The refineries, the transport, the logistics. It's different for California, and the other thing is like
more than Texas.
I'm sorry.
You think Texas doesn't have pipelines that are they're not even drilling right now. You know, and I live in Bakersfield, which is a oil town, and all the pumping jacks right now are like almost stopped. You can't get a drilling permit here. Well, that's a lot of the big majors have left.
Well, we're drilling more than ever already, though.
It's not about the pumping; it's about the refineries. That's the problem. Is they can't get. Is there anything
that Biden did to stop refineries?
The problem is refineries aren't going to invest under Democrat control because you can't. No one wants to invest a ton of money if you have a administration saying we're going to end fossil fuels. Who would want to dump a bunch of money investment into oil?
Has Biden ever said that?
Yes, we want to end fossil fuels. Dude, they're doing right. I mean, look at Gavin Newsom. You can't even get. You can't even buy. He wants to make a thing where by 2035 you can't even buy a gasoline car in California.
Yeah, but that's so. Obviously, this is something that's completely viable, and if we don't pressure our infrastructure to grow in a way that competes with China, we're fucked. So I think it's a very smart move, and there's no drawback. Electric cars are fantastic. They're cheaper. They're getting cheaper and cheaper. They're 90% efficient as opposed to an ICE engine, which is like at tops 20% efficient. So if we're going to be drilling oil, they also have to compete with all of these things that Biden's investing in. All of the alternative fuels that we're doing, we're not filling up our cars with oil as much. Less demand makes the price of oil fall. These are all things that are helping the price of gas. And for some reason, right wingers have a weird knee jerk reaction to it, but like, don't touch my shitty car.
Well,
and it just doesn't make sense.
But here's the deal: it's like this is the thing. Like those headphones that you're wearing right now. What do you think makes that? Honestly,
it's made of oil. No one wants to end people making plastics. No one wants to do that. No one wants to end that entirely. If we alleviate the demand of oil for cars, they would be even cheaper for plastic headphones.
Did you see on the holidays, like with the Christmas, they have the thing where they show the flights in the air? Did you happen to see that by any chance? And it shows you how many flights are in the air at any given time. Do you have any idea how much one of those jumbo jets, like how much fuel they use? Honestly, like, dude, if you want to talk about, we need to cut oil, it'll never happen because you're going to have jumbo jets in the air. You're going to have things that require fuel. I guarantee this. I don't know if you watched the show Landman. There was a great episode where he said, I guarantee you, if Texaco thought that the electric cars were the future, they'd be investing in that, but they know it's not.
These are. All of the big fuel companies are investing in EVs.
No, they're doing that for the tax breaks that they get from it. All those, like when they put windmills and all that stuff on all their things to do that, they're doing that because they need the incentives, the tax breaks that are set up.
You don't think that windmills are good?
I think windmills are garbage.
Why?
They don't pay for themselves because if you look at their efficiency, they don't pay for themselves over the history. By the time you talk about what it takes to put one up, by the time to manufacture it, by the oil to run it, by all the stuff that it takes to get that windmill running, by the time it's done, it doesn't even pay for itself.
Do you have a study on this I can see?
Yeah, dude, go look at the lifespan of a windmill, and then look at how much fuel and oil it takes.
I'm just wondering if you're like spitballing. Like, is there a study that somebody did? But like, because obviously people have to invest in windmills, and for anybody to invest that amount of money, they're going to say, "Hey, what's the projection look like? Where are we going to break even? What's going to happen?" Like, and they're obviously paying and seeing a profit on the other end.
Right, but if windmills were the answer, I'm telling you, Texaco would be investing in windmills, and you'd see windmills all over Texas. You'd see them all over everywhere, but they're not because they know that that's not the future. There's so many things that depend on oil that you can't. It's hard to find.
No one wants to completely eradicate oil. This is a boogeyman.
I know, but that's the thing I'm talking about. No, you're wrong because everybody, when they say we need to get off fossil fuels, what does that mean? Our entire livelihoods of everything in our life, go look at everything that involves oil, everything from pharmaceutical.
Again, no one wants to stop using them entirely. We just don't need them in our cars.
Yeah, but here's the deal. Like I tow a lot of race cars and stuff. You're not going to tow a race car with an electric car. It's impossible. How are you going to do that?
The torque? You're talking about?
How am I going to tow a race? Honestly, how am I going to tow a race car 4 hours or 5 hours and they're heavy
So
loads?
if there's like a very small fraction of combustion engines that are required to stay for those reasons, that's still a net positive because we're having less people demanding the oil.
How are tractors going to run? Like farming tractors, they're going to run on Tesla engines.
They can run on oil, but like the everyday car, the hundreds of thousands or millions of cars that we have here, if we alleviate that and we like, if everyone stopped driving like a fuel car for a day, gas prices would just fucking plummet. And that's what we're trying to do, but on a smaller scale. Gas prices will plummet if we invest more in alternative energy. It's this, and then you're saying, well, we can't do that because we have plastics. Like, no one wants to get rid of plastic. No one wants to do that.
Yeah, but they won't, like, here's the deal. Right now, like, I don't know what you guys, where do you live? I'm sorry, I should know.
I'm in Dallas.
Okay. Well, I imagine your fuel's pretty cheap there, right?
I don't even know. I don't drive.
Okay. Well, you see them, though. You drive by gas stations, don't you? Okay. You're probably you're about $3 a gallon, probably, I'd imagine, right?
I think it's like $2.80, yeah.
Okay, well, here it's close to, for diesel, it's close to about $5 in California. So that tells you that the Democrats don't want cheap fuel. They want it high. They want a taxi. Gavin Newsom does not want cheap fuel because that's going to incentivize you to keep driving fuel cars. They want it expensive so it doesn't seem like it's practical to use. But the problem is that a Tesla, an electric car, isn't that much cheaper to drive now compared to fuel. And let me tell you something about emissions. Like I do drive a Denali diesel, and you get in the back of that thing, you can't smell anything. There is no smell. There are almost zero emissions. I don't know if you like see what if you've ever checked like how much emissions that a car or even a diesel puts out now. You can't even smell the exhaust. They've almost got complete carbon capture out of some of those cars. So
I would still write on the fact that it's less efficient, way less.
Okay. Would you say though if they had 100% carbon capture that you'd be okay with that?
Sure. But still like we have big oil lobbying the right endlessly and convincing people without facts, without data, that things like windmills and solar panels are killing whales and causing cancer. Like these are all obvious propaganda points.
Well, they never talk, but here's the thing though, you bring up a great point, because here's what I'll tell you, is that nobody ever talks about the downside of go green, right? They don't tell you, well, where does the stuff from the batteries come from? Like, what does it create? What creates all that chemicals, all the acids, and all the stuff that creates a battery? A battery's not a green thing. It's it's just not.
We're looking at carbon footprints. We're looking at the ozone layer. We're also looking at being carbon like these are all things that are moving in the right direction, and we don't have anything besides some like weird like talking points like you're saying to say that EVs are bad. Like they're faster, they outperform, they're way more, you can drive 3 times further with the same amount of energy. It's a no-brainer unless you got to tow something. And like obviously if that's an essential thing that we need to tow things, that's going to be a thing. We're going to have that. We're not just going to be like, damn, the law says we can't like make cars that are capable of doing XYZ. Someone's going to figure it out. And that's what we have to do. We've been doing the same thing since like 1950 with oil in our car, with gas in our cars. And it turns out like if we push manufacturers to make engines like less or more carbon neutral or whatever, like more efficient, they will, and they have.
Right. I agree with you. Here, you talk about the downside of EVs. How long does it take you to fill up your EV?
I think you can do 30-minute quick charge for 100 miles and then like a few hours for...
Right. So it takes me about, I don't know, 3 minutes. So if I'm going on a trip, do you think I want to park on the side of the road and here's a lineup to get it? This happens, this does happen. You get lined up and you have to wait in line to get your EV charged. You think, who wants to do that? Who wants to drive it in cold weather where EV may not work as good as something else? There's a lot of functionality.
We're investing like billions of dollars in building EV charging stations. And that's just, obviously, that's an easy fix.
it still doesn't it just still doesn't change the fact that you have to sit there for a half hour and charge your vehicle.
For the one time a year that you're going to travel across country in an EV, yeah, I'm sure it sucks. But for like when you park at home and charge it overnight, it's a non-issue every day.
Right, but let's say you're in California, right, and you're going to go from, I don't know, Fresno to Los Angeles, you're going to have to stop. You got to stop and charge that thing somewhere along that route. You're not going to make that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And you're going to sit there for a half hour on the side of the road,
and in 10 years they'll be able to make that full trip without a charge.
And in 10 years they'll have 100% capture.
And in 10 years, we'll have even less gas. We'll have even more people prying to drive a car because the population's going to grow. China's going to keep consuming oil. Oil's a world traded commodity, and the more supply and less demand is going to cause prices to drop. And for people to fight against this is insane to me.
Right. You know how heavy an EV is, by the way? Like, let's say like a Cybertruck.
3,200 pounds.
Right. Well, do you know how much? Let's say like so my daughter works at one of the dealerships here, and she brought home the Hummer EV that they have. Right. It's a nice truck, but weighs 10,000 pounds, and EVs are considerably heavier because they have more batteries in them.
Regular Teslas, they weigh about the same as cars. I used to have a Challenger SRT8. It was almost 4,000 pounds. So Teslas are 3,200, 3,100 pounds.
Yeah, not some of the bigger stuff.
Yeah, but everyday drivers.
Yeah, you're talking about the compacts.
Who needs a Cybertruck? That's like that's like a
luxury
I'm just saying
vehicle. But there's larger size EVs that are not like compact. If you're talking about
larger trucks that aren't. I don't. So.
But I'm just saying, it's like they're not. EVs aren't this like perfect thing where there's nothing wrong with them. They have their faults. They just never get talked about.
And they're only like 15 years old.
Well, battery operated cars have been around for a long time. I mean, they're mainstream now. I don't know.
Trisha, thank you so much for the $50. Trisha's in the chat. Thank you so much.
Anyway, that's my take on California. As someone from lives in California, I do think the state's going to start. It's already starting to. If you looked at the last election, a lot more people voted red. I think Gavin Newsom's not going to make it through this. I don't think he's going to. I think he's going to be out on this deal, and I think Karen Bass for sure is going to be. I mean, she's going to be gone for sure. And so that's my take on it. I may not agree, but that's my take.
Alrighty.
Okay, thanks for the.
Hold on, before he bounces, can I ask about wind turbines?
Sure.
Yeah. So you said there isn't a bunch in Texas?
Not as many as the oil rigs, no.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I mean, pumping jacks. Sorry.
Oh well, I mean, yeah. How long have pump jacks been around?
Right. I'm just telling you though, they'd be more of them if Texaco if Texaco thought there was money in it, they'd have them everywhere.
No, do you know what the problem is? So the thing is that I used to work on wind turbines. Crazy, right? Texas has a shit ton of them. The problem is with our grid. You know, the grid that Abbott likes to keep down and everything, separated from the rest of the different country ones. You know, we had that big freeze a few years back. Do you know why we can't do more than what we've already done now? Is because they will not expand our grid. They do not let us capture as much energy as we can. There would be a lot of times when I was on my site where we would go into what is called curtailment, where they would shut our turbines down remotely because our grid could not take any more energy. They refuse to build the batteries and the tanks that will hold the energy because it affects gas and oil. So everything that you said about turbines was 100% false.
What happens when it freezes?
They still run.
No, didn't we? Where was the place they had them when they froze up and none of them were working?
Well, yeah, I mean, everything else stopped working too.
Well,
I know that, but at that point, combustible stuff will work way better than a turbine. When it froze, was that Texas?
Yeah, it was Texas. And
Texas, the turbines, they all froze up and everybody lost their electricity.
We didn't lose it because of turbines, though.
Guess who worked during that freeze?
You did.
I did. And guess what our turbines did? They froze for 1 day. And the reason that they froze for 1 day is because our turbines down here were not used to freezes. Now, turbines up in New York have the lower temperatures. They are much more capable of surviving freezes. But you know what they can't do up north? They don't have them regulated for the heat like we do down here. You see, in Texas, especially southern Texas, we don't worry about freezes very often. These things don't happen very often, but we hit 120 degrees often. So if we swap the turbines from New York and Texas, neither of them would run in either place because you build them to where they will survive the usual temperatures.
Do they have a wildlife impact, do you think? Like, I know
Absolutely not.
They don't. Their birds don't care.
Birds,
Nope.
cats
I
kill
have
more birds than wind turbines every year by like a factor of 50.
I have personally seen 2 birds in the over decade that I worked. 2 birds.
Do you think they look good though? I mean, we talk about aesthetics of the Earth. I mean, when you see all these, like, if let's say we went to all wind turbines, do you think the planet would look great if we had all these like wind turbines like all over the place?
They're prettier than pump jacks, by the way. I used to work on those too.
Yeah, but wind turbine doesn't power your car.
It could.
How?
If
You
we
can?
switch to EVs.
You couldn't put enough wind turbines on this planet to power everybody, dude.
How do you know? Literally everything that you have said about turbines has been wrong. So you're just saying stuff that you don't know.
I told you they froze and shut off. That wasn't wrong, was it?
Beth, stop. Beth.
February 1st.
No, hold on. Chat, we're 47 out of 50 on the Dragons. Beth, fucking jeez Louise, stop. Hold on, guys, I'm going to do one more dip. This is my last dip. We have one more dragon to go. Fuck, stop. Okay. Here it is, chat. Here it is. What do I got to do? Hold on. This is an old cup of coffee. Stop. Chat, we're quitting nicotine tonight. Sorry to interrupt. Oh, it hurts. Hold on. Oh, fuck. Shit. Ugh. All right, chat, we're quitting. This is the last one in my mouth. That's it, chat. Farewell, goodbye. Sunflower seeds for the next few weeks. All right, go ahead.
I do not envy you.
All right, man. Thanks for the discussion tonight, guys.
All right, Billy. Take it easy, man. Fuck. Chat, thank you so much. Beth, thank you. Thank you, guys. Shawnee, Risa, and I can't read your name. Thank you so much. Whew. Brett, how you doing, man?
Bro, I had the wildest night on just live. I had, we make fun of like MAGA and how they don't really send their best. I really got the bottom of the barrel tonight.
I'm the best.
Uh-oh.
I'm the best they got.
Uh-oh.
Clip this just so when the rest of the conversation goes south.
You think you're smarter than me, Brett?
I'm sure I am more intelligent on some things, and you might be more intelligent than me on other things.
Okay, yeah. I think the same. I think you might be beating me in some areas, but I think the most important area when it comes to judging politics, it would be economics, because politics is downstream from economics. I think we can all agree.
Have we talked before, Carlos? I've literally heard that exact line before.
Yeah, but I changed my profile picture and my name because everybody kept making fun of my last name because it was Los, and everybody just says that I should just change it to Lost.
Kaylee, thank you so much for the sub.
Fuck, my bad. I'm out of breath. I was working out. But I think honestly, like every political commentator and even MAGA people and Democrats all alike, they need to all learn more about fucking economics before they ever even get in a voting booth or they open their mouth about any candidate.
Yikes.
I just want to ask one question, then I got to get off here. Pickles, love you, brother. Carlos, what does GDP stand for?
Grow something domestic product.
All right, so grow something domestic product. You're telling people that they need to be more informed, and you don't know the bare minimum about what GDP is.
Well, because GDP and the market basket of goods and the way CPI, the way they calculate inflation is all flawed.
I'm gonna leave this with you, Pickles. I love you, brother.
Love you
Wait,
back,
so
man.
why you
Take it
running,
easy.
Brett? Why are you running? I thought you were smarter.
He came up for my last guest.
Oh, okay.
All right, Brett.
Yeah.
Take it easy, man.
Later, man. Hey, send out the bat signal if any 2A shit comes up. But
I got you.
I'm going to bed.
Oh yeah, I think Second Amendment shouldn't be taken away, and
okay, all right. Here we go.
Yeah, I think they should. I think before you talk about taking people's pews, you need a guarantee that their government will not be a tyrannical government.
Cool. First things first. What is the Second Amendment? There's 27 words. What are they?
I mean, from my simple understanding, it's just the right to bear arms, but I believe it says the right to form a militia and
nope, you're wrong.
Against a tyrannical.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't know it word for word.
Yeah,
but I know it protects people's
No.
right to bear arms.
No.
Nope. This is. Remember how earlier you said that people shouldn't talk about things they don't know about? This is one of those things that you probably should have.
So what is the Second Amendment, Einstein?
The Second Amendment is a well-regulated militia, comma, being necessary to the security of a free state, comma, the right of the people to keep and bear arms, comma, shall not be infringed.
So I mentioned 1/5 of that statement, and you're saying that I'm wrong?
Yeah, well, listen, I know that in the Harry Potter books, it says the word Wingardium Leviosa, but that doesn't mean I know the entire book. Correct?
Arms is the. You're not gonna start a militia with bananas,
right?
And
Well,
sticks.
Hold on. Who controls the militia?
The organizer of the militia.
Okay, so before we even go any further, how many articles and amendments are there in the Constitution?
I don't know. I thought we were arguing about 2A, not the whole.
What is 2A? What is the A in 2A?
Second Amendment.
Amendment, right? So when we're having a conversation about the Constitution, so in Article 1, do you know what the articles do?
What do the articles do?
The articles are like standard operating procedures, right? So like Article 1, that is the legislative power. Article 2 is the executive power. Article 3 is the judicial power.
But what does that even have anything to do? That's trivial when it comes to the right to bear arms.
Right.
People, but can you just answer me that question?
Yes,
Why
I'm
can you guarantee that a government and any other future government of the United States will never be tyrannical? Therefore, people will not need arms to fight them.
Here's the thing, right? I'm going to talk you through this, right? This is me pulling out the coloring book and the crayons, right? So in the articles, they talk about the militia. The Second Amendment is about the militia. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 15 gives Congress the power to call forth the militia to aid the Union to suppress insurrections and repel invasions. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 16 says that Congress will arm, train, and discipline the militia the way that they see fit. Article 2, Section 2 says
The militia would be
president-
going
Hey,
against the current regime. Why
Hey,
would we
listen.
want the regime that we're
Listen.
trying to overthrow?
I need-
It's not written anywhere.
Carlos, listen, buddy. I need you to take off your talking lips and put on your listening ears, okay?
But it's because you're giving me all this technical jargon and all this
Oh,
hypothesis.
no, I'm going to
that you
answer
have.
every single one of your questions. Now, let me finish.
Okay.
Article 2, Section 2 says that the president is commander-in-chief of the Army, the Navy, and of the militia of the several states. Now, can you tell me where...
The militia wouldn't listen to the current regime. Do you understand that?
Tell me where.
The only reason people would need to take up arms against a tyrannical government is because they don't agree with that government.
Now, tell me where in the Constitution...
Why would we want the government to train us if we're standing against them?
tell me where in the
Are you ignoring every
Constitution?
word that I'm saying?
Yes, because you're saying fallacy bullshit.
No,
That I am going to get to.
the reason we need firearms is because a tyrannical government could take your rights.
Where in the Constitution does it say anything about a tyrannical government?
That's what you need guns for. That's
Tell
why you
me
need,
where it
that's why
talks
China
about
needed
it.
guns against Mao. That's why
Bro,
Russians needed guns against Stalin.
hey, listen.
That's why they needed it in
I've
Latin America.
already explained this to you. Article 1
I don't
says
give a
that
fuck
our
about the articles.
government
I don't give a fuck about
controls
the
the
numbers, the
militia.
words, the letters. People need firearms to defend against a tyrannical government. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, and also you're committing a felony right now, buddy, because U.S. Code 2385 says that
Come
advocating for
arrest me
the
then. Come
overthrow
arrest me
of a
then. Fuck 'em.
government is a felony.
Come arrest me then. I don't give a fuck.
I mean,
Do you understand why communists took away guns in their
explain communism.
countries?
What is communism?
The collective ownership of the means of production, the dictatorship of the proletariat. They have many dumb
It's not.
explanations.
There's no dictator. It is a classless, moneyless. A classless,
Yeah,
moneyless
it's a dumbass concept, and it would never
society.
work.
So,
Communism and
so hold on,
socialism is stupid.
hold on. So if you say a dictator, then that's obviously not communism. What you're doing right now is you're
I
listening.
said dictatorship of the proletariat. That's what communists define it as. A lot of them. Do you know what a proletariat is?
I know that No Child Left Behind seriously failed you.
Do you want to continue the 2A conversation?
Yes.
You just
Yes.
keep ignoring what I'm saying. The only reason
Because I am educating you.
people need AR-15s is if
They
the
don't.
government comes and tries to take our rights away.
Okay. Here, I'm going to play the game with you. You think that you and Billy Bob Joe Jack George down the street with 13 AR-15s are going to take on a guy who grew up playing Call of Duty, entered the military, they gave him an Xbox controller that flies a drone, and you think that they're going to beat it? You know the minimum the maximum operating projectile of an AR-15 doesn't
You don't have to
reach
use
the
big words,
minimum
buddy. Just talk normally.
capacity of a drone flying. Do you know who owns GPS?
What does that matter? I'm talking about
Do
a
you know what
local
an
militia.
EVP is?
I'm talking about every town in America
Do
taking
you
up
know
arms
what
against
an
their local government. If they
EVP
try to take
is?
if they try to take your rights away,
Dude, you might
everybody
as
would
well have a
get
butter
their.
knife, bro. It's not gonna work. It's stupid.
It's not gonna work. I'm pretty sure most of the military would side on the side of the people and not the tyrannical government.
Nope. Because if it is an order in good faith, which is an insurrection, which if you try to go against our government, it is an insurrection. Therefore, it is a good faith order, and they will uphold it.
Did you see those videos of those people trying to shoot the drones? None of them got one. None of them. They didn't get any of them.
Those are like 1% of the population.
Okay. Well, if they just hit us 1% at a time, we're fucked, huh?
What, bro? I'm talking about 80% of the people do not agree with the current government right now.
Yeah,
At
and you
least
think
some percentage.
there's any hope at all for you to do like a concerted effort to overthrow what they're doing? You think we're going to be more coordinated than the United States military, who could literally
I'm not
take
gonna
over
go out
any
like a little
nation on
pussy.
Earth? We could literally take over
I'm
any
not
nation
gonna
on
go out
Earth.
like a little bitch, like Brett.
Well, I mean, suicide is have at it. I'm
Yeah,
gonna be like, hey,
I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees for a government that is taking away my rights.
Are you Christian?
You don't even know your rights.
Are you Christian?
Yeah, I'm a Christian.
You love living on your knees.
So you're not Christian?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't believe in fairy tales, my friend.
I mean, bro, I've only studied communism for the past 2 years, and from what my understanding is that they take people's rights away, but first they take their guns away.
You need to ask for a refund because you couldn't break it down to the simplest form, bud.
I understand communism. It's just government trying to control the economy and centrally plan all
There is no government. in communism.
There,
It is a
that's what they
classless,
say. That's what they say. But
stateless,
there's
moneyless
no. Okay,
society.
name one example of communism with no government. Go ahead.
We don't currently have one.
Oh, because it can't fucking work without a government, dumbass. You can't collectively own the means of production without a collective body representing the collective. Do you know, like you just said that communism doesn't have no government. Communism that's been implemented in every fucking country for the past fucking century, each one had a government. Mao's communism had a government.
Do y'all hate when we call Trump a
Stalin's
fascist?
communism had a government.
Do you hate when we call Trump a fascist?
I think it's
right.
Yeah, I don't think it's correct.
Here's fascism. Here's communism. Here's capitalism. Here's fucking Trump.
That's not even how it's.
That's Trump.
Fascism is a fascism is a form of collectivism.
You're so scared we're gonna slip and fall and come all the way over here somehow. Meanwhile, we're
fascism
so
is on
fucking
the
far
left
from
side.
that. We are so far from the left. You think fascism's left?
It's a collectivist ideology. Capitalism is an individualist ideology.
All right, so just because
do you know the difference between individualism and collectivism?
Yes, and you think that an authoritarian fascist dictator
What's the difference
is somehow...
between individualism and collectivism?
It's self-explanatory, right? Collectivism, everybody as a whole.
Everybody as a whole. What does that mean?
Acting as a whole, everybody being equal or something. Everybody. You think that just because Hitler's party was called the Socialist Party, you think they were socialists? That's the silliest thing I've ever heard.
No, but it's a form of collectivism. I don't think the Nazi Party was.
It's a right-wing ideology. There's no escaping this.
They take control of the industries and what would be capitalism if it was owned by private owners. And they collectively own it as
There's
a government.
No requirement in fascism for us to have collective ownership of anything.
Well, there's no requirement, but they do it.
They don't. It's not. No, it's not.
So they don't take control of the
not one of the
productive
tenets of
capacity
fascism.
of the economy.
Fascism is giving all the power to big corporations, kind of like Trump's whole administration he's got sitting in the White House, or will be.
How do they give control to corporations?
Giving them enormous tax breaks, taking all the red tape out so they don't have to follow environmental rules and harm the public, take away consumer protections, basically pushing all of the wealth from the bottom to the top so that we're just at the mercy of the big overlords of Walmart and Amazon and Starbucks. We're all at the mercy of them, and Trump getting richer.
You're describing unregulated. That's crony capitalism.
That's part of crony capital. They can have things in common.
Crony capitalism is very different than laissez-faire capitalism.
Okay, but is Trump not building an oligarchy to give corporations infinite power to become super rich?
I mean, if he ends the Fed, then he destroys that fascism, crony capitalist model that you're talking about.
If he ends the federal government?
The Federal Reserve.
The Federal Reserve. You're one of those.
What do you mean by one of those?
You want to go back to like the gold standard?
Yeah, I don't think we need to make more money. We can divide money.
You're the one who said we were going to cut pennies in half, weren't you?
Yeah, that was me, the half penny guy.
Oh no.
Hey, that guy that came after me though and did that impression, that was pretty good. But like, why do you say, oh no? Why can't you just have an intellectual comeback?
Because nothing from the opposite side has been intellectual.
It is very intellectual. The gold standard was beneficial to the United States for a very long time.
All right, bro. We explained this to you last time, right? So, like,
no, you didn't explain nothing.
Yes,
you just said that you're right and that I'm wrong.
Okay, I'm gonna explain it again.
You didn't explain why you're right.
I'm gonna explain it again. We have $500 billion worth of gold in the reserve, and then we grow our economy by $10 trillion over 10 years. What do we do with the gold?
Just tell me what the gold standard was, if you even know what it is.
Our money was backed by gold in the Federal Reserve.
What does that mean?
It was basically a note saying this is worth X amount of gold.
So banks were just gold warehouses, correct?
Maybe.
I mean, what do you mean? Maybe that's true. That's what the gold standard was. So what happens?
All
banks used to do.
follow that line of reasoning, what do we do when the economy grows $10 trillion and we only have $500 billion worth of
What do
gold?
you mean grows $10 trillion?
So if Walmart makes
What is
$5 trillion
the
and
economy doing to grow $10 trillion?
they're creating businesses and like earning profits.
So let's break this down. We don't have to use big ass words. I'm a pretty stupid MAGA person. Look, in the gold standard, there was a certain amount of units of currency. These banks were just warehouses for gold. People took their gold and their silver to these banks, and then they gave them a gold and silver certificate to come claim that gold and silver whenever they wanted. These banks ended up printing more certificates and liabilities than they actually had in assets. Is that correct? Yes or
Jessica,
no?
thank you so much. Yes, and that's the problem I'm
Wait,
describing to you.
But okay, and then look, the economy grows. It becomes more productive. There's more cars, goods, and services
Do we
in
go
the
mine more
economy.
gold?
Why do we need to mine more gold just because there's
So
more
does
cars?
we just
goods?
devalue the dollar?
Why? How would there? If there's more supply and the demand stays the same, why do we need to grow the demand of printed units?
When we have
I mean, do you understand what I'm
yes,
saying?
Yes.
The
McDonald's is
supply
selling
represents goods and services.
McDonald's is selling burgers, and the public has $20. They buy all the burgers. McDonald's has burgers now, or has all the $20, and we tax them. We tax them. They pay $5 in taxes, and we spit $5
No
back down
taxes.
here.
No taxes.
Okay, no taxes. Okay, so we just have $20, and it shot up to the burger people, and now these people are poor. What do we do?
They have burgers.
Okay, and what do we do now?
Okay, and then they can make a good or service to get those $20 back
For free?
No, they could go make some shoes. They could go train a horse.
They're gonna buy the supplies of shoes with a burger?
You don't have to buy anything. You can make stuff out of. You could go cut down a tree and carve it, make a wooden statue, and get the fucking $20 back.
Okay, you can see how this is breaking down, right?
No, bro, you're acting like we use paper money for the whole time humans were alive. We've used many forms of money. Money has been salt. Money has been cows, livestock. Money has taken many different forms. And in jail, it takes the form of cigarettes. And in Brazil, it takes the form of bricks. People save bricks. They get paid in cinder blocks. Money has different forms.
All right, yeah, and we don't want to do that anymore because it's hard to trade when all I have is like a scrap of leather, and the person I want something from doesn't need that scrap of leather. They need a piece of steel. And it's much more efficient if I just had $1 and said, hey,
so
here.
the coincidence of wants.
Oh, I think I figured it out, Pickles. I think I figured it out.
Wait,
so
what
you
are
have
the
hold
five
on.
qualities that make good money?
Hold on.
Do you know what makes good money?
Hold on. So Pickles,
No,
you
you're just gonna say some condescending bullshit, bro.
No.
You're not even contributing to the debate.
I am. Because I have a
Okay.
question for Pickles.
Oh, he wants to live in favelas.
So, Pickles, check it. So you have a scrap of leather and you need a piece of metal, right? I have a piece of metal, but I don't have a scrap of leather. So now Carlos has what I need. So what we do is we all
The coincidence of wants. It's a very simple concept.
Hold on.
Yes.
We all trade them around, right? Because we don't need
and
no
money
no more
becomes the
because
most
gold
tradable
standard.
item.
Hold on.
Money is the most tradable good.
Hold on. So look, Pickles has a piece of leather that I need, but I only have a strip of metal, which he doesn't need. You have a piece of rubber that he needs, but you need my piece of metal. So then we all barter and trade for him and everything. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying go back to a barter system.
Because what you just explained,
I'm
that
not
you wanted to
saying
do
I'm
was
not
fucking
saying let's go back to a
communism, bro.
barter system. I'm describing what money is. Money has taken different forms in all of human history. Do you know why we use gold as money for thousands of years?
It's scarce.
There's
very
5 qualities that made gold the best money. And the reason we didn't use silver, the reason we didn't use iron, the reason we didn't use land or cows We use gold for a certain reason.
And what's that reason?
It's divisible. You can divide gold into many divisible units, and it's durable. It's not going to rust. If you have iron coins, it's going to rust over time and it's going to lose its value, and it's portable. You can't just take a house across the ocean as easily as you can take gold coins. Fourth,
And
it's
we just told you
verifiable.
how we would have to keep dividing it until it's nothing, because the economy will grow inevitably. Because McDonald's will hold all the $20 from those cheeseburgers, and then we have to figure out how we're going to make more money to circulate.
We can have representations of paper, and this paper. Look, I'm not, but look, let's just make a hypothetical
so
scenario
close.
how you were doing earlier. Look, let's just say it's 1900, and there's $1 million in circulation in the United States. Why do we have to increase that amount of dollars? Why can't we just increase the divisibility of individual dollars?
Because it will devalue them.
Can you answer that question?
It will devalue them, just like we do right
How?
now.
Oh, so when I give you 100 pennies, that devalues $1? How does that devalue $1?
No, but when we only
It's the
have
same. It's the
100
same
pennies
value,
in
is
an
it not?
economy, and say we have 111 people that are born, what do we do then?
So in this scenario, there's $1 million and there's 111 people in this economy. Is that what you're saying?
No, there's $100 and 110 people. What do we do?
Okay, and then another one is born.
Mm-hmm.
We can divide those $100
Would it
into
devalue
1
those
million
dollars?
units. Huh?
Would it devalue those dollars that people are holding that don't want to
If
divide
if I
them?
cut a pizza into 1 million pieces, is it the same pizza?
Bro,
So
you're
when
missing.
you
I
do
can't
that,
believe you came up, dude. I hate to be mean, but you can't come up here being cocky about economics and be so lost, man. You really are.
I'm not lost. I'm describing deflation.
no, you're not. In that situation, right? If there's 110 people, if you
Money
want,
can
hold on,
increase in value.
hold on.
Money can increase in value. How is that a false statement?
Check it. You have $100 and 110 people, right? There's not enough dollars to go around.
Who
So
says there's not enough dollars?
because there's only 100 of them, and there's 100.
You can divide them
people.
into coinage.
Right. Hold
Who's
on.
gonna give
Now-
their money up to divide it? Who's gonna do that?
The people that need to divide it. If you don't need to divide it, then why would you go and
No,
get
but at
your
this
money
point,
divided?
if you cut the dollar, then every dollar is now worth 90 cents, not
How
100.
the fuck if you cut $1, it's worth 90 cents?
I
Like, just because you're struggling to understand the concept that I'm trying to lay across doesn't mean that that you have to fucking get frustrated.
Albert Einstein would have trouble fucking understanding this concept.
It's fucking easy. It's called money increasing in value. If there's more goods and services, the supply outpaces the demand. What do you mean? Goods and services chase money. Money chase goods and services.
I think he's a communist and he just doesn't understand it right.
I'm not a fucking nigga. Fuck communism.
I think he's right there.
Nah, communism is for low IQ people. But how is that a hard concept to understand? Money can increase in value. If there's more goods and services due to technological
Okay.
innovations.
I'm gonna try something else. I have a foot of leather, right? Right? And if I have to cut that leather, is it the same amount of leather?
Yes, it's the same amount of leather. It's 2 pieces of the
Nope.
same fucking leather.
It is not the same amount.
How is it not the same amount?
Because if I cut off a tenth of it, then it is not the same amount.
Who is? But so you're gonna take that piece of leather and throw it away?
If you circulate it, then I circulate that tenth, then I only have 9/10.
All right, he did say the soft N word, guys. Just a reminder, can't say that. I don't know why I have to remind. I am feeling sick. I might throw up here in a second, so I think I'm gonna get off.
Is it the thought of no tobacco?
I think it was I overloaded tobacco. I think it was nicotine. Guys, I'm gonna take a melatonin and try to pass out and go to bed at a decent time. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you bringing me up, brother. Much
Yes.
love, man.
Thanks for enduring that with me, man. I feel like we just sat in a
we
trench.
bonded.
We just
We bonded. I think we're closer now than we ever were before.
Are you feeling
you
that?
headed to Austin? Huh? Yeah. Are you coming to Austin anytime soon?
I'm definitely. I'll let you know if I do.
Yeah, because we got session, man.
Yeah. Let me know. Keep me in the loop. I'll. Yeah. Have a good night. I'm definitely about to go to pass right out and lay down and not throw up.
Later, brother.
All right, guys. Chat. I love yous. Have a wonderful night, guys. I quit nicotine tonight. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Beth. Thank you, everybody who donated to the thing. Dan, I love you. Thank you for the raid. Yeah, I gotta go. Please go. Who are we raiding? Oh my god, I feel so sick. Go raid Carbon. Carbon.gg, guys. Go raid Carbon. He's the best. Tell him Pickle sent you. I love you guys. Good night.